Hello and welcome back to the WGL APAC Season 2 Finals, where we just saw Team Efficiency secure not only a spot in the APAC Finals, but also a spot in the Grand Final. So they're going to be feeling elated right now with a 7-4 victory over Karen Tiger. Jordan, couldn't have seen this one coming in such a degree.
No, not really. Honestly, I thought that Karen Tiger was going to show up a little bit more. Obviously, I predicted 7-6 there. But Team Efficiency, I think, have definitely really put in the hard yards. And they've probably been, I think, the hardest working team, maybe with the exception of EL Gaming this season. But definitely the results have shown there for Team Efficiency.
So you really got to throw some respect to them being able to do that without the luxury of a gaming house that EL have, being able to stick to such a strict regimen and have it pay off is great. Of course, we still have our two analysts, Nomad and Chippy, joining us. Guys, how was that series? How does it feel to be on the desk as well?
Oh, look, I thought it was a really good series. It was, with the exception, I think the last game, I still thought was a little bit disappointing from Karen Tiger. I think they could have possibly put up a bit more of a fight with, especially with that lineup. But other than that, it was a great series.
Yeah, but as you can see, Team Efficiency taking it 7-4 over Karen Tiger. And of course, the next game coming up, EL Gaming versus Horsemen. Now, this is a game where not a lot of people have faith in Horsemen here tonight, and you'd really be hard-pressed to find some evidence to counter that argument.
I think that's with good reason, really.
Yeah.
EL Gaming is the best team in the region. My dream final was an EL Gaming Team Efficiency final, so honestly, I'm kind of rooting for EL Gaming here, maybe biased as it is to say. I like the Horsemen guys, but I just don't think that they have it to stand up against EL Gaming.
And EL Gaming gave us a jacket at the season 1 finals.
Well, that's just straight bribery then, isn't it?
A little bit.
Chippy, do you think Horsemen have any chance of winning this tonight? And if so, what is it?
It's a slim chance.
I'm giving you the real difficult question here.
Yeah.
Everyone got off each just saying, yeah, EL, mate, but I'm really, how do Horsemen come into this series
They
with
have
confidence?
to perform out of their skins. They just have to bring every ounce of energy and strategy to the game. They have gone to a point in the season, I think it was, they got up to...
They got 5-4.
Yeah, there was 5-4 against Elon. So they needed to bring that kind of energy.
That was in
to the
week
finals.
3, though. That was
True.
a long time ago.
A long time ago, but it shows...
different meta, different time.
True. It shows they have some potential to beat Elon. It's just
Yeah.
I think they were ahead like a 4-2.
Yeah.
And then Elon brought it back and got the 5-4. But yeah, they just have to play out of their skins, bring new things to the table, and that's how they're going to win, if they can win.
Keep in mind, they also have the home field advantage here. So coming into this game, something you can't undervalue there is just if the crowd is on your side, giving you energy, giving you life, and cheering for every play that you make, it can, in certain circumstances, push you that little bit forward. A little bit further, give you that little bit more energy here. And of course, Horsemen on your screen right now, the squad looking to do the impossible, looking to take out EL Gaming, knock them out of the APAC Finals. And wouldn't that be a treat to witness, Jordan?
It would be something special, really, from Horsemen if they were able to do that. Unfortunately now, the fact that Team Efficiency have qualified through to the Grand Final means that Horsemen no longer can, but it would still be a massive deal.
Yep, let's have a look at a Horsemen video.
Hello, I'm Nandes. I'm captain of Horsemen. 主要就是很兴奋，因为毕竟上一季打得不好，然后这一季又突然可以打到第3、第4名，所以就是抱持着希望可以一路再更好下去，可以到第1名，甚至到世界大赛。
这一次的线下赛我们也是准备了很久嘛，它从季后赛结束到今天，我们只休息了2天和3天，其他就是每天晚上都练习了2到3小时，为了准备这线下赛，为了打败最强的亚洲战队 EL Gaming。
是来的那个队员，他就有提供很多像是义勇的一些小习惯跟可能是弱点的之类的，甚至有提供一些比较针对他们的东西。我们队伍非常的有耐心，就是因为毕竟打也没有到顶尖，所以练习量就相对多啊。
就是说挺认真的吧，大家都想表现的最好，带给各位观众看。对，想把每个人的最好面表现出来。每个人练习的时候都很认真，比赛的时候也都不放弃。像比分多的时候也是尽量不要把负面心情一直带到下一场去，每个回合都当第一个回合在打。当然，除了因为游戏内我们是竞争对手嘛，游戏外当然我们大家都是朋友，大家都一起为了这个赛区打拼那么久，当然也是认识了蛮久，所以游戏外我觉得我们就像朋友一样，就是大家都是玩这个游戏的人。 当然能在自己的家乡比赛，不用出国，这也是一个蛮不错的经验嘛。如果能在这个地方拿到很好的成绩，那我觉得我们会更加骄傲。
What an excellent last shot that was. That gave me chills right there. I'm rooting for Horsemen this one. I don't care if EL gave you a fancy jacket.
Whoa.
Horsemen, that was nice.
Whoa. Someone's a little bit jealous, I think.
Well, maybe Jordan. But look, Horsemen here, they know that they have an insurmountable task ahead of them. But in the end, like they said, even though it's a competition, even though they seem fierce and fired up, they're all great friends. They treat each other like family. And isn't that just the beauty of competitive gaming, bringing us all together here? But still, that's friendship and family is not going to be enough to take out EL Gaming. But Horsemen do actually have a unique advantage coming into this game. They have an ex-EL player.
Yeah, I mean, look, he hasn't played on EL Gaming, obviously, since last season. This is Sphinx that we're talking about, formerly known as Flag. Did win the season last season with EL Gaming, and how much he's going to be able to bring through now, given the fact that he hasn't been playing with EL Gaming for so long, I have to question.
Yeah, and speaking about EL Gaming, they also have a new player donning their roster here at Taipei. Jordan, can you fill us in on that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird situation, really. I'm told his name is Rattlesnake. I'm told he's playing with EL Gaming here in the grand final.
Player,
we'll have a look and see when the game does go live and that sort of thing. But he hasn't played WGL before. I was like, who is this guy? You know, I talked to Fox yesterday. I was like, who is Rattlesnake? And he's like, a very good player. And that's all he said. And I was like, okay, good enough for me.
That sounds like an Alex answer.
But we'll see if he's going to go well. Obviously, there you go. He's in the lineup. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out. But is it going to work for EL Gaming, having a roster change into the final?
Well, Nomad, you guys play on a roster where you're constantly swapping in and out of players. How badly do you think this could affect EL coming in with a player that's never played APAC before?
Yeah, look, I think it's not so bad for EL as it would be, say, for us, where we're constantly having, 2 or 3 or 4 different players every week. So I think for them, it'll be okay. They've just got to make sure that he knows his roles and his responsibilities, and that, he's integrated into all the strategies nicely.
Oh, that's definitely an important factor coming into this. Let's have a little bit extra to learn about EL Gaming.
我是 EL Gaming 的队长 Fox TS。
我是来自 EL Gaming 的 Nice， 然后在团队中担任指挥官。我知道你一定会问这个问题，我已经想好答案了。我们确实是因为准备不足，就是由于准备的原因嘛，没有把它当成一个最大的交响笛去准备，然后和他比赛的时候自己有一些失误比较多，而且我们在中期的时候因为网络的原因，然后我们中间有很多场比赛一直存在一个掉线的情况，丢包，然后导致我们中间输了很多比赛和打了很多加时。这个赛季确实比上个赛季遇到的困难要多。
一个队伍注入一个新的血液，必然会带来一些改变和改革。从目前状态来看的话，它给我们带来了一些以前从未有过的一些想法与打法，并且我们会在这次比赛中把它实际的实践出来。这位队员也是国内的一位坦克世界的选手，蛮有经验的。然后他擅长的位置就是担任一个坦克的，就是担任团队的一个盾牌的一样的一个角色。他不是用来表现和打输出的，他相当于是一个团队的一个支柱。然后对于他这一赛季的发挥，我们对于他的评价是合格的，觉得他是有能力代表翼龙出战这次比赛，不然他也不会出现在名单中。然后也希望这次比赛之后能给他一些锻炼的机会，让他更好的提高自己。很激动，然后这一次Wargaming 在台北举办的这一届的第2赛季的 WGL， 真的没想到会举办的这么棒。我刚刚看到场馆之后，作为一个选手，就是看到了自己的舞台，然后就会觉得真的很棒。然后这次的行程安排什么的都挺好的。除了我们就是大陆来台湾有些麻烦之外，其他的一切都很好，而且 Wargaming 的赛事举办的也越来越好。
Great stuff coming out of EL Gaming. Visa issues, the bane of competitive players, it seems. But look, I like that they mentioned Principal because he's been playing so well the entire season here, really coming into EL and giving them a bit of new life.
Yeah, I agree with what Nice was saying there about how he has been a fairly consistent damage dealer. He's never been really up the top, in my opinion. He's not been the carry player, but he's been in there plugging away, doing his job, and I think that's what EL Gaming needed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, as well as that, I think Rattlesnake coming into this roster, I will be interested to see how well he gels with,
That's the big question.
Guys like that. Because, yeah, it is the big question in this one. And, I mean, yeah, we know that EL Gaming, they have always been a team that just looks at the top of their form. But, I mean, Nundesu and Fox DS here, probably the two top players on either team.
Yeah. They're the two kind of guys that are always finding themselves dealing consistent damage. They're very, very strong players. Fox TS, he's a kind of a flex player, really, for EL Gaming. Does change his role around. Not so much anymore now that we've seen the mouse meta coming in. He's a little bit more restricted to just the bat chat or the mouse, but he used to play the grill, the TVP. He's playing the arty a little bit nowadays as well, so he's flexing around still a little bit. Nundesu, he, again, is one of those flex players, and he's a real strong damage dealer for Horsemen as well.
I like Nundesu's t-shirt as well. I like the Horseman t-shirt. It's quite good.
Yeah, everyone bringing some great apparel to the event, all looking quite crisp here, but look. Once again, Horsemen up against EL Gaming here, and even though Nundesu doing great and looking great while playing tanks, that might not be enough to take out EL right now. You saw Nice had a lot to say on the topic of just how strong they are as a team, felt connection issues really being a bane of some of their success in Season 2, which is fair enough on their part, but now they're on land, so no more excuses. If they play poorly, they only have themselves to blame.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I mean, yes, it was quite evident. I think that we saw a lot of those connection issues coming out from EL Gaming in some of their matches, but you know, at this point, as you said, there's no more excuses. This is land. And they have to make it work here.
And you know, they made that excuse, but I mean, guys, I'm looking over to you, and it didn't look like there were any connection issues for EL Gaming when you managed to handedly beat them on Himmelsdorf and another map.
It was 2 rounds out of 5. But,
close enough to a win, you know, against EL.
It was a moral victory to take some rounds off EL. They are a very strong team. But in Australia, we have also had some connection issues as well.
Yeah.
That does definitely put a damper on things. But as Jordan and Alex and Max have all said, it's just land now, so you got to prove yourself.
Look, that's exactly right. It all comes down to this here. And coming into this game on land, so important. You've got the crowd there. And EL, they have to know that the crowd is not on their side right now. They're going to be cheering for the home team, Horsemen. How do you think that factors into their mental game here, Nomad?
Oh, look, for a team that's been around doing this, like, as basically their full-time gig for as long as they have, I don't think it's going to factor much. I think they've got way too much, like, mental fortitude to let something as small as, you know, a crowd, you know, sort of phase them.
No, that makes a lot of sense here. It's something we praise EL on time and time again on this broadcast, on and off, every time we pretty much bring up EL, is their ability to focus fire enemy tanks is unparalleled right now. I always think back to Muravenka, the one flag, rushing with the bat shots. The second the tank pokes over that ridge, it just gets obliterated off the face of the earth. And is that just because they have that gaming house advantage, the instant communications?
I don't think that's really just what it comes down to. I think EL Gaming has just got that little bit of extra synergy because they're just a better side. They've been playing together for so long. The core roster's been there for such a long time as well.
Of course, we have the map vetoes up on your screen. Cliff and Steps being taken away, so we'll be going on to Himmels, the Horseman's first pick, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, Cliff and Steps, no surprises there again. I actually really like the way that the vetoes and picks are starting to look actually from the start of this, because I think this is exactly how they should have worked out. I'm very happy to see Horsemen picking Himmelsdorf. I think it's their best chance against EL Gaming. I know that Himmelsdorf is a very good map against for EL Gaming, but it is also Horsemen's, or one of Horsemen's best maps. So I think that's a good pick from them. Muravenka and Mines, perfect picks from EL Gaming. Muravenka is not a map that Horsemen have really been that amazing on, and Mines is a map that they've actually been quite terrible on. So 2 very good maps for EL Gaming. Get them right in early on in the piece, and I think they're going to be smashing away with a good lead.
Ghost Town's good. You know, Horsemen are good on Ghost Town, I think.
And EL's not.
And EL's not, exactly. So, you know, it seems to me that these teams, they're picking pretty well.
I think this is exactly... If I had to write my ideal in terms of who picks their best map, this is how it would have gone. So I think both these teams have really done their research.
Yeah, good to see that your insight as a caster helping through here as well, Jordan. But look, great stuff coming out of both squads here. And once again, the map's going to be Himmels, Muravenka, Mines, Ghost Town, Proc, Ruinberg. And of course, if we make it that far, Proc once again as the tiebreaker. But EL, they're not known to going, well, maybe this season, maybe a bit more than last, that they do actually make it to some tiebreakers here. And Horsemen, they've managed to take it to them once in a tiebreaker. They weren't able to win it out, but they got there in the end. As we mentioned, it was a while ago back in week 3. I think so. It's been a long time and a different meta that Horsemen were able to do that. So coming into this game, we know that pretty much all the stars have to align for Horsemen to take a victory over EL Gaming. But let's have a look at the maps here. Where do we think EL break ahead in this one, Nomad?
I think for me it's going to be Mines. I mean...
Oh, their Mines is picture perfect.
Oh, it certainly is. And I think the main thing to take away, though, for it is that Horsemen's... I think that's personally their worst map.
It is.
And I'm not sure like, why that got let through, and why that wasn't a ban, but maybe Horsemen's, they've got some, nifty strat.
The
planned
problem against EL Gaming is if you don't play Mines and you don't play Cliff, which a lot of the APAC teams do, you have to let one of them through. And EL Gaming is very good on Cliff, they're very good on Mines. And so Horsemen, they decide they don't want to play Cliff, they get rid of that, but then there you go, out comes Mines.
Yeah, look, we've all given Horsemen a bit of the short end of the stick. Alex maybe dangling that carrot in front of him just for a little bit longer with the 7-5. Jordan, we've gone for 7-3 and 7-2 respectively here. Alex, why do you think Horsemen are going to get 5 rounds here, mate?
I've gone 7-5 because of the home crowd advantage.
It's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
Alex, you got to stop giving us ammo on the desk here, mate.
It's not.
I want to dig your own grave, Alex.
I want to be nice to you.
The eco arc is full of
bottles.
hundreds of bottles, yes, and also people. Full of hundreds of people that will be cheering for the Horsemen.
That would be watching EL Gaming beat Horsemen 7-2.
Have you heard the acoustics in a 1 million bottle arena? It's all. Neither have I. It's all that Horsemen are going to be hearing their fans. Of course, Nomad, you've gone for the 7-3. Chippy, you've echoed that one. Any reason to that, guys?
I think although EL is going to take it pretty decisively.
Yeah.
We can't really write off Horsemen as being a 7-0 sort of side. I think Horsemen, it is the final, and I think they can bring through, something that we may not suspect, and something that EL may be caught unawares by.
Yeah.
So who knows? I think 3 is probably about as the most they're going to get.
Yeah, I'm pretty much with Nomad on this one. It's a case of Horsemen having to try and do something different to catch Elong off guard. Elong in the past have shown that their weaknesses are that if they've thrown unpredictable strategies, they don't really cope reactionary very well. That kind of ideas will hopefully get Horsemen into that sort of position to win some rounds. But I don't think they're going to come through and win overall.
Are Horsemen the team to do that though? In the past, they seem to be pretty straightforward squad. Do you think they're the team that could pull off a crazy like left field strategy against EL and make it work?
In my opinion, there could be some maps that they could bring it out on. It's just a matter of how EL react to the different strats that Horsemen could provide. But if Horsemen obviously sit there and do the same old strats, EL is going to react, know what to do, and then they're just going to shut them down.
All right, Alex, I'm coming to you with a very loaded question here. You've done it once. You've given a team a strategy to help take out EL. What words of wisdom can you give to Horsemen in this battle?
Well, it's obviously always map specific, but look, the
what
words
do you got
of
up first, Himmelsdorf, Jordan?
Himmelsdorf
we already know what you're doing on Himmels.
Well, exactly.
Give us Muravanka.
Honestly,
give us Muravanka. How do you beat EL and Muravanka? It's difficult.
Throw him under the bus. I like that.
The bus. I'm already rolled over. Like, I mean, that's not fun. But look, honestly, you need to do what Chippy said, and that is to look at EL strats. I guarantee you, EL are not going to come into these finals with like a million new strategies and pocket picks and all of that stuff. EL are going to pick. I almost guarantee you, half their roster will be the exact same as they picked. In their earlier matches.
They have a new player though.
They do have a new player as well, which I actually think is another reason why they're just going to, stick to the tried and true, right? And that's how you can beat them. If you pick T110E4s, etc., on T110E4s, T95s on Himmelsdorf against EL Gaming on the defense, like that really counters a lot of their strategies. Even if they go to the other flag, it's a super solid ahead of the medal lineup at the moment. Muravanka, I think that's a little bit harder to counter because it's kind of just batch hats and a few heavy tanks, but who knows? An SU-14 too, that might throw EL off.
Well, I guess the real question mark here is, what is Rattlesnake playing? Is he going to be in those medium tanks, or is he going to be driving out on the mouse? Fox TS has given him the seal of approval, saying he's a very good player, so it'll be interesting to see what he's exactly good at here.
It is going to be interesting to see, yeah. Like, I honestly have no idea coming into this what he is going to be playing. The player that he's kind of coming in for, I suppose, is Guan Ren, who's not able to play, and Guan Ren was typically a bat chat main, really, for EL Gaming. So you maybe could make that connection, say he's going to be in the bat chat more often than not, but also it is the mouse meta. Maybe he's a gun heavy tank player, maybe he's a gun artillery player, something like that, that they can throw in their roster and really be sort of a trump card.
I think maybe his inexperience, not only playing in this competitive environment, but also playing in, like, imagine that. You go from playing ladder, you're just playing ranked with some friends, all of a sudden, the best team in the APAC region say, like, hey, we want you to fly to Taiwan with us and play in the grand finals. That's a lot to put on someone's plate. Do you think, obviously I'm sure they've done their research, but could that potentially be the beginning of an undoing here?
Look, I'm sure EL, they, with the wealth of experience that the team has, and a couple of roster changes they've had previously, I think they'll know just how to prep
Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake, to become, the next star player, perhaps, or at least the same quality as the rest of the team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've heard Nightmare say some crazy things. I
think he had his hand up at one stage.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. I mean, Nightmare's the one that said that we should cook our lamb chops for 20 minutes on the barbecue at the season finals last season. So he doesn't know everything, I reckon. So in that regard,
you always want to bring food into it, don't you, Alex?
In that regard,
it wouldn't
I
be
reckon
a Tanks broadcast without it.
No.
Exactly. Actually, we just had a bit of nice few manouche, bit of pide.
Yeah, it was all right. It was pretty good this time. Usually I'm against the manouche pizza, but I must say I can see this one too, Alex. You made the right call, especially for the
Well, I'm going to be
once in your life,
making the right call on this one as well. It's going to be a 7-5.
There's no way this goes to 5 for Horsemen.
You're mad, Alex.
You are mad.
Yeah, you want to? I'll
You've already done the
I'll put $50
Alex.
on that.
Yeah.
I reckon, man.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Look, Himmelsdorf, I could see maybe going to a 1-1 here for Horsemen, but EL 2-0 Muro, EL 2-0 Mines.
Where do they get 5 rounds, Alex? What maps?
Well, look, they get 5 rounds on the maps that they do different, interesting new pocket strategies on. Like, obviously they're not going to get 5 if they play how they've been playing this season.
It's fool me once, shame
But
on...
if we actually remember, the time that it went to a tiebreaker against these two teams, it went to a tiebreaker because it was the start of the season. EL, like they said, they weren't practiced coming into it, and they just did their standard last season strategies. And Horsemen, if you remember, countered them perfectly because Horsemen had Sphinx. Horsemen knew exactly what EL were going to do. Throughout the middle of the season, they haven't really done that. They maybe haven't put quite as much prep into this battle, but you heard the Horsemen there. They've only had 2 days off since the playoffs for practice.
Yep, looking good in this game here. I'm excited to see how they go about doing it. A lot of question marks surrounding Rattlesnake, but of course on the other side of the table, Horsemen. We mentioned they got to do something crazy. They can't just play standard because pound for pound right now, the EL Gaming roster has them beat. Who are we looking on? Who do we have our eyes on from Horsemen here, Chippy, to really lead the charge, lead the cavalry?
Some of their players, like Nondasu, and I think he's probably one of their main players that needs to sort of lead them and get them along that sort of winning streak.
Yeah.
As well as TW Spencer, he's quite a valuable scout player. He can get the information that they need to then decide what to do. So if they coordinate well and get that information out early, then they could obviously keep Elong on the guard and then just decide what to do and then change it up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult. No one said it was ever going to be easy for Horsemen to take this series, and if they do, they still don't secure themselves. Well, they don't knock EL out of contention for that grand final spot. They've already secured them by having such a massive point lead at the moment. But still, prize money on the line. A lot of it, $100,000 total prize pool. $50,000 to first place, $25,000 second, of course, third and fourth, sharing that remainder, $12.5 each. A lot of money on the line, and that's double for first. So coming into this, double the money, $25,000 to $50,000. That's such a huge difference here between second and first. So if EL make this, then they're up against team efficiency. There's so much at stake for both those teams there. But right now, Horsemen, if they even want to be in contention for a shot at that massive prize pool, they have to take out the best team in our region here, Jordan.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's possible, really, at this point for Horsemen to be able to go through to the final. Like I said, I think it's going to be a 7-2. The only maps, really, which I see maybe being favorable here for Horsemen, Himmelsdorf, I think, could be a 1-1. Ghost Town could be a 1-1. But to me,
is that all the rounds they're getting?
That's all the rounds they're getting. Like I said, they get 2. So maybe they get 1 on Himmelsdorf and they get 1 on Ghost Town. Like,
if you're being generous,
proc
where do
defense?
they get?
Horsemen could win proc defense. They're good on proc.
Yeah, but so is EL.
No, they're not. EL 50% proc win rate on the attack.
I think they'll be fine, mate.
50%?
I've got faith in Elong.
Yeah. I feel like you can never be disappointed with putting your faith in Elong. They always somehow show up. They've turned rounds around that just
From
look
nowhere.
like they had no business winning. And especially a map like Mines, but of course Himmelsdorf. We're going to be jumping right into that one. Jordan and Alex, take us away, boys.
My first question is, what is the UDES doing on Himmelsdorf?
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused at that EL Gaming lineup. Look, they've got the T1 10E3, which, you know, yeah, okay. I actually prefer the double T95 if you can squeeze it in instead of the T1 10E3. The UDES on Himmelsdorf, like, does that go up to the hill, but then it has to contend with a bat chat?
I could maybe see it working on the attack if you're going to have it be like your cap tank, but I guess we're going to see. They are on the attack. Okay, so this makes a little bit more sense to me here for EL Gaming. Wait, they're on the defense.
No, they're not. Yeah,
boy, what am I talking about?
What are you talking about, Jordan? But yeah, this is weird. I don't know what Black is actually doing here.
He's scouting. He's got his camera net and his binoc, so he's
just
not
so
going
he
to get
can
spotted.
Counter out the hill. Can he like? What? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what he's doing.
What?
He's gone mad. He's gone mad.
He's just scouting. You know, actually,
is he doing something
where's the spotting points?
Oh, yeah.
Where is the
Actually,
spotting
that could
points
be
on
it.
the UDES?
That could be
right.
it.
If he raises the back of his tank, does that mean he can see over?
I think it does. You know what? That must be it. Because there's no way that this is just Black going crazy. I actually think this is some really, really meta, really like super crazy like strat that they've tried out where the UDES can't actually be spotted from that location while he spots stuff out. So maybe that's it.
Okay, and just so that everyone's aware, SEA7, what SEA7 is, Rattlesnake, by the way. But yeah, this is an interesting strategy from EL Gaming. It's working. They're getting a lot of information right now.
What do you call the UDES that like puts its backside up to just to spot stuff?
I don't know, Alex. You're the one that always comes up with crazy names. So
I thought I'd give you a chance. But
no, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm no fun. I'm no fun.
It's true.
Here on Himmelsdorf, though, it has been a good map for Horsemen in the past, but against EL Gaming in particular, it has been a little difficult. You know, they've only won 1 round against EL Gaming on this one to EL Gaming's 3. So they're going to have to hope that they can get at least 1 here. I think they definitely need to go 1 apiece. If they drop this one 2-0, well, we're in for a world of pain, I think, for Horsemen.
Yep, well, I mean, they're actually pushing up towards a good position right now. Quite nice. They're the only ones gutting out this 1 flag at the moment, and the rest of EL Gaming are going to have to rotate nice. Quiet's already taken 550, though. Not great for the T1 10E3.
Yeah, that's a good start, and that's a very, very disappointing shot for Nice. 102 damage, like, you'd be thinking, gee, where's my damage?
Yeah, it would take a while to get him down. But that's why, honestly, I don't really like the T1 10E3 versus the T95 in this situation. Like, you can get away with a T95, and then you can get another Tier 9 tank, and it does pretty much the exact same thing in my eyes. You know, it's still got the great armor, even a lower profile, so less vulnerable to those HE thingos from the Type 5s.
Yeah, well, I'm still wondering what Black's going to really be able to do here. Like, he can cover off the hill, but he's not going to be really relevant in a fight. Oh, Fox TS, he's being so sneaky.
Oh.
Did he get spotted?
No,
I don't think he got spotted.
No, he didn't get spotted. He didn't get spotted.
That's so dangerous. Sphinx
Yeah,
is running
yeah,
right into
yeah.
him. This
Oh,
might be the first
no.
pick of the game here for EL Gaming. Fox TS, he should have enough damage to deal with Sphinx. Only needs a couple more shots, and That was an amazing play from Fox TS.
Yeah, that was brilliant there from Fox TS. Finishes off with the ram and 1 shell left in the clip as well. And in the meantime, Spencer's been dropped down, I think, by old mate Black in the UDES. So
and Fox TS had 1 more shot left in the clip. He can actually kill Spencer here if Spencer doesn't get out in time. He's actually looking in the wrong direction, though. And maybe Black's going to go for a bit of a jog after Spencer. No, it doesn't look like it. He's decided better of it, but great start really there for EL Gaming.
Yep.
You couldn't really ask for much more.
You couldn't, exactly. Taking down that bat chat practically for free. You know, they've guarded out that one line. There's really no pressure going on there. OBOV's just gone down as well. And EL Gaming, this is a bit of a masterclass in Himmelsdorf.
Yep, it really is. Horsemen, they're under the pressure right now. At least they're able to get some damage back to EL Gaming at this point, but it's just not near enough. I mean, you lose 2 tier 10 tanks. I don't think there's any coming back from that for Horsemen, particularly on the attack. Like, they can't even stall it out here. It's again just going to be EL Gaming. Like, it's all EL Gaming just walking over Horsemen. I think, you know, we didn't talk about it too much coming into this, but I do think EL Gaming have probably really knuckled down for this final because they would have known, you know, look, we had an okay season, but it wasn't as good as what we would have probably expected of ourselves. And I think EL Gaming is going to be a very proud team in a sense that they pride themselves on being the best, and they want to come in here and they want to win the final. So I think they're going to be more prepared than we even saw them coming into Season 1 finals.
Yeah, very much so. And look, we're seeing that reflected there on the scoreboard right now as Gorilla's just getting taken down. Nandesu's getting bursted down by Fox TS. And it looks like EL Gaming may even be able to finish this one off, only having lost Black in that UDES at the moment.
Yeah, they might lose Quiet in the E3. I mean, Nice and Hardliner are getting relatively low as well, but well, it doesn't really matter at this point, does it? EL Gaming have 7.4k HP. Horsemen have got 2 tanks left alive. This one's a no-brainer, really.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. A easy, smooth win from EL Gaming. And look, that might quieten down the local crowd a little bit at the moment. So you can see Archon there, the last man standing on the Horseman side, is going to be going down. And EL Gaming secure the first smooth win.
What was that, Alex? What did we just see coming out of EL Gaming that had you in stitches?
Well, I thought the UDES.
Because we came into this game saying, you came into this game saying that EL are not going to try anything new. They're not going to do anything bizarre. They're not going to change the meta. They're coming into it with a new player. It's going to be stock standard. It's going to be Horsemen. They're going to have to be innovative. But we saw the UDES kind of presenting itself to the enemy team. But like Jordan mentioned, maybe the spotting points on there being raised up, giving it a little hidden advantage.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't know if you guys, you know, no matter Chippy, know anything what was going on there, but I can only surmise it's one of those EL Gaming things where they almost managed to break the game a little bit to get an advantage with a reverse UDES spot.
Yeah, I almost thought that he must have flagged out or something.
Yeah.
Or he disconnected and they're going to go for a reset.
I honestly thought he was just like flashing his opponent.
Yeah.
Like just mooning them, just giving them the straight moon, no respect.
But no, the UDES, you know, it does have, you know, one of the best standing camouflages, like you know, in the game, and well, you know, with the camo and the binocs, could have got some good spots. And you know, they did get a few shots down that mid road, but probably not as much as they would have liked for how long he sat there.
Yeah, so
a
you're
bit
not
risky perhaps.
Not convinced that the UDES was the thing that kind of put them over the edge against Horsemen. There, they could have probably done the same with a different tank.
Yeah,
had
I think
a 1390, I reckon. I mean, it
like
was
sure, it caught us off guard a little bit and was quite hilarious to watch. But that game didn't look good for Horseman, Chippy. Just everything went wrong from start to finish.
Yeah, especially with the UDES at the start, did give EL a few damage shots in, but Horseman did return a bit there as well. But then the Fox play with the 50B up on their heels sort of sealed the deal when that bat chat went down for Horseman. And then it just pretty much cascaded from there because then EL just surrounded Horseman and then just finished off the game.
Yeah, there's a reason we sing songs of praise about Fox CS and his ability to captain the best team in the APAC region. Being able to make calls like that, or rather follow calls like that, is still a very strong thing, especially on land. A lot of pressure here to perform, considering they said coming into the season they didn't live up to their own expectations here. So maybe a little bit of doubt coming forward here, but obviously they've completely shed their skin and coming out strong.
Yeah, I don't think it was just Fox TS there. I forget who was in the UDES. I think it was Black, but whoever was in the UDES was keeping the 1390 behind the rubble. And so it was kind of a team effort there, really, between Fox and the UDES. The UDES forcing the 1390 back so that he couldn't spot Fox coming up the corner there, and it just worked out so well for them.
Yeah, great win from EL Gaming to take the first one of the series here. Himmels looking 1-0 at the moment. We'll have to see how Horsemen can mount a stronger defense here. Their attack that looked a little bit lackluster. They got some good damage off at the start, but didn't work out too well. And Rattlesnake, a very good player, Jordan.
Yes. Well, apparently, it goes to show 4.3k damage out of the mouse.
Or did that go so you can chuck anyone in the mouse and top score?
Well, I mean, maybe there's that as well. Maybe there's that.
Honestly, I think that's actually really impressive from Rattlesnake there. I mean,
debut game?
4.3k damage in your first game of WGL APAC. You're at the season finals live. And you come out with that. That is really, really nice. And Quiet's actually done quite well there in the Tier 1 10-3 in the end. They've got Principal there in the mouse still, the lowest Tier 10 of EL Gaming, but still dealing 1800 damage. So very, very fair effort all around from those EL Gaming guys.
Yep, the UDES not doing too much. It had the initial scout, got a few shots off here and there. But what does it take for a player to come into such a prestigious roster, having never played a competitive game before and then top score against Horsemen, Chippy?
I actually have a bit of a theory about Rattlesnake.
Lay it on me, mate.
I think he actually might be from the Chinese server.
Yes, he is.
So obviously he may be playing with EL in the Chinese server because they do play competitive there as well.
Right.
So he may be already integrated into Elong, and they may have been playing for quite a while.
Interesting.
So in that regard, they may be just settled in, and he's ready and raring to go for APAC region.
If whatever it is, it's working out great for them, because already putting up numbers here in EL, they don't look phased at all. It's too early for celebrations right now. It's only it's Horsemen rather. They look very deflated at the moment.
Yeah.
Having the UDES wag its tail in your face to start things off, never a good way to open up a series.
Yeah,
No.
it must kind of feel a little bit like being beaten by a not a troll strat, but like a very nothing standard,
unorthodox.
Out there.
Yeah. Anyways, can't feel too good for the Horsemen, and I think you can see it there. But look, hopefully they bounce back. I'm rooting for them, but I think we've already seen some questions answered there with EL Gaming. Rattlesnake doing really well.
Yep.
EL Gaming bringing out some actual new strategies, like
they pretty much had a list of everything we mentioned that Horsemen can do to potentially have a chance in this series, and they go, okay, they think that Horsemen have to pull out something weird, maybe Rattlesnake won't perform, and they just slowly, one by one, went through and drew a strike in our list of what went wrong. So now we've got to dig even deeper, Nomad. How do Horsemen bounce back from this one already?
Well, I think they got to get over the sheer disrespect play that UDES sort of gave them there. I think they just got to shake it off and just honestly not let such a decisive loss there really affect them, because they've got potentially another 12 rounds to play. Potentially, probably won't happen.
Yeah.
But they've got to really dig deep.
They definitely do, and it has to come out here in the second round. They have to get a win here on Himmelsdorf. It is their map pick.
Well, can I just say I really like these picks from the Horsemen on the defense. They've got the Waffenträger Panzer IV, which is basically the baby grill. It's actually better than the grill, in my opinion. I would actually rather have it because it does more damage per minute after the grill nerfs, and it's just an unnerfed Tier 9 grill. They've got the T95, which is just brilliant at the moment. Nice high alpha, nice high penetration, brilliant armor, and now not super slow. So they've got the tools they need, the Horsemen, to win this one out.
They do, but then again, so does EL Gaming. I like the 50B for Fox TS. We need to see him be effective in it, though. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily work that way, but Fox TS is generally speaking a very, very consistent player here for EL Gaming.
Yep.
So, just waiting now to see what EL Gaming do decide to do. They've gotten control of Hill, but they are still sending their mouses in the direction of the 1 flag. So I wonder if they're actually deciding maybe now to rotate back up to the 2 flag that they've gotten control of that hill, or if they just want to go for their set tried and true strategy here, spreading out across the map, seeing what's what.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not too sure. It's looking like EL Gaming are going to be pushing up a little bit towards that G line. So still nothing too crazy aggressive this early on, but Horsemen, they're actually being very, very aggressive here, and they are ready to punish EL Gaming if EL were to, push out a little bit too far, which I like. Okay, just looking through that little little hole there.
It's a fairly common angle, really, particularly in WGL, so I think EL Gaming is going to be well aware of it. You could see even there, Rattlesnake firing a shot in his direction. Obviously, very difficult to get one through, but why not? Give it a crack. Regardless, though, EL Gaming, they've taken a little bit of damage to start off with here. Nothing to get too bothered by, really, though. I think it's going to be up to Fox TS and Black on the hill.
Spencer cannot be taking that sort of damage to T95. He does not need to. And he should have known that there could have been an EL Gaming member up on the hill, but Horsemen actually responding pretty well to that one and managing to get 2 shots in towards Fox TS, dropping him down to 1100 health.
Yeah, that's pretty crucial, actually. It does restrict the effectiveness that the 50B can be, because he can't really afford to take any more shots now. He needs to play a little bit safer. Admittedly, he can take a couple of shots, but definitely can't be committing to anything that he maybe could have with a full HP 50B. At this point, though, I'm still not particularly concerned for EL Gaming. My one major problem for EL Gaming is going to be, if they run into a strat that they can't break, are they going to be able to react to it? Because that's the problem that we've seen from them so far this season.
Yep.
You know, it's 3 minutes into this game, right? It's not like at this point they're stuck in a rut, but let's say another 2 or 3 minutes go by here and they're not actually able to push onto one of these flags. Are they even going to rotate, or are they just going to keep trying to butt their heads against the wall?
Well, they're going to kill Spencer very easily, which I think is a little bit more successful than butting their heads against the wall. So that is already a little bit of an opening. They do take a little bit of damage for it, but they definitely take that trade any day of the week. So EL Gaming now just got to feel it out, because they can see Nandesu and Gorilla pushing out towards them. I'm not too sure how well this is going to go for the Horsemen, because EL, they do also have Hardliner and Rattlesnake down there as well.
This is, I'm not sure. Not so great for Horsemen.
Yeah, it's not.
The rotation coming across as well towards the north for EL Gaming. I mean, Black could get on the flag. He could wrap around behind Archon.
Hokiao's in trouble. Why is he pushing out into Waffentrager?
I don't know. I guess he just wants to get some damage out, but it's not going to work out too well for him. Gorilla takes down Quiet, which is at least a kill there, but EL Gaming at the moment do have a health disadvantage. Fox TS needs to get involved in this fight. He's been on the rotate for such a long time.
Yeah, absolutely, and damage is really coming out of the Horsemen there. We can see Gorilla trying to help out Sphinx. Sphinx is on the reload though, so he probably won't be contributing too much more to that battle. Goes down towards Hardliner. Fox TS is coming around on the top. He's going to be able to put some shells into Archon.
Yeah, Archon's desperately trying to hold off this rotation from EL Gaming, but I think it's too little too late. Even if he does manage to somehow miraculously 1v2 there, he's not going to be able to hold them off long enough. EL Gaming should be able to pick this one up. Only 2 tanks left to deal with, and you can have a look at the health pools here and see the difference between a team that's able to focus fire correctly. EL Gaming, a lot of their players relatively tagged up, but they haven't lost too many players. And Horsemen, they've lost a lot of players. Their 2 remaining players are still relatively healthy, and I know which team I'd rather be on right now.
Yeah, definitely EL Gaming, and once Nandesu goes down, potentially even to that fire. Oh, so close. But there's not much way in back for the Horsemen right now. 2 tanks, 2,197 health between them, and EL Gaming not going to be looking too happy.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking too good for Horsemen here to start off with. 2-0, and it's their own map pick as well. So
that's the worrying thing. Very worrying for them. So I think that Horsemen right now, look, I mean, I like their picks coming into this, but really Spencer, I feel as though he's misplayed a little bit by taking all of that damage from the hill in the T95. That's always going to be a danger. Fox TS, every game is going to be up on the hill. So we thought that one of the Horsemen's kind of draw cards into this would have been that they know what EL Gaming do, and they would have really studied them. Fox TS always up on the hill, and then we see Horsemen almost forget about it.
Yeah, Horsemen, they really don't look like they have much of a clue on what's going on right now, and it's a little bit depressing to see, because we thought coming into this one they would have practiced specifically for their opponent, but like you mentioned, Alex, some things just seeming to slip their memory. Maybe they got too much going on in their mind, met with also the pressure of going up against EL. They're just letting a few key factors slip away here, and Nomad, coming into a game like this, you got to keep your composure. Have Horsemen already lost it?
I hope they don't, but that being said, they have lost their map pick. I mean, Himmelsdorf is probably their best option at getting
0-2
at least a 1-1.
That or Ghost Town.
Yeah.
which is coming later on in the pool. Obviously, they could only choose one of those. They felt Himmelsdorf was going to be their better option, but I agree. I mean, going down 0-2 on Himmelsdorf there, that's a massive blow for Horsemen, because I definitely think Muravanka and Mines are 2-0s the way of EL Gaming. I'm almost 100% sure Mines will be a 2-0. Muravanka is a little bit more up in the air, but even then, like that, to be honest, is surely going the way of a 2-0 for EL Gaming here, which means by the time we do get to Ghost Town, in that world, we'd be at 6-0 in the favor of EL Gaming. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah, this isn't looking good from Horsemen. The map's drastically favoring EL Gaming at the moment. And then, like you said, they're not just some maps that they're all right on. Muravanka and Mines, two of EL's best maps here. And Alex, you said hopefully they can win a side on Muro, but after that display on Himmels, are you going to redact that statement?
I think I might have to, honestly, because look, there was a chance that they could come into today and really bring some interesting stuff out. They could have been the ones doing the Udez sort of
tail wag.
Yeah, tail wag, exactly. But they're not, and it's EL Gaming that are just on their usual form. EL Gaming always show up at LAN events, particularly here in the APAC region at least. So I am going to say no. Maybe they can't come back on Muro.
Well, let's have a look at what went wrong for Spencer. He just got caught out immediately as well, and the T95 just not working out. EL Gaming just completely bullying Horsemen, it seems, and it was looking kind of close here, but once again, the focus fire from EL just too strong yet again, and it's just one of the merits that this squad had that no other team can really contend with.
Yeah, definitely. And I think EL Gaming, heading into Muravanka in particular, they haven't lost on it all season. So it's a scary prospect here for Horsemen, and I would have liked to have seen them get at least one on Himmelsdorf to give them maybe a bit of confidence heading into this series. But I don't know. I don't want to say 7-0, but
it's looking that way.
Well, it's early days, all right? Let's leave it at that. We'll see how the rest of this turns out. Looking at the battle stats here, though, there's nothing in there that's particularly surprising, really. Rattlesnake, again, having a good one. And I think from what I was watching, actually, after the game there, where they were sort of, high-fiving and stuff, that's not normally what EL Gaming does, right? They're normally just sitting there like, yep, we've got our job done, right? But I think maybe he's come into this roster and been sort of a bit of a fun addition or mentality addition, lighthearted, keeping the team happy, which maybe is something that EL Gaming have lacked.
I mean, you might be right on the money here, Chippy. Surely they've definitely assimilated him into the squad well, and he's really helping to bring up the roster.
Yeah, he's shown obviously in the first 2 games that he's played that he's quite apt at dealing damage, so he could be another hardliner for EL in the long run if he continues to play on the APAC server. Otherwise, yeah, it seems like the EL's got that sort of that positive vibe going, as you were saying, John. And hopefully that'll obviously coax them through. But we all know Elong, they're quite dead fast in their will to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's just a bit of the Taiwan happiness culture going through.
Well, look, we got Muravanka coming up next, and we know how well EL Gaming play this on their attacking side. They get into the hill, force you to peek that ridge, and then completely obliterate whatever tanks you have peeking here. What can Horsemen do to kind of avoid meeting that fate, Nomad?
Oh, look, it's hard to say. I mean, like, just because EL is such a solid team on that, I mean, there's almost... It's hard not to fall into the mentality of, what can we even do? What can we even do to
that's when you know you've lost, right?
Yeah, and hopefully Horsemen, they haven't sunk into that yet. Hopefully they haven't hit the tilt factor yet.
Oh, that would be the worst. Tilting it at round 2. Hopefully not. They still have the crowd there in the Eco Arc Arena. It's quite full at the moment, so everyone there hopefully cheering for their squad Horsemen and keeping their spirits high. Because the last thing we want, is a tilt factor to set in immediately. Wouldn't that just be a nightmare coming into this one?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the key for Horsemen here, particularly if they start off on the defensive side, is that they need to actually set up well. Like, they can't be like B Gaming, set up in a really random position on Muravanka and get completely almost capped out there by EL Gaming on Muravanka. They need to have strong early positions and defend well from the start.
We saw some interesting picks in the first round of Himmels. Anything potentially we may be seeing in Muro, Alex?
Oh, in Muro, 6 patterns. Yeah.
Bolognese making a debut appearance on the artillery.
Just jumping in for Horsemen.
I tell you what, I'd love to. I've been saying this the whole season, and I would love to have seen a tier 10 Artie on Muro. We saw it last season with the Dark Wolves, but it's just not happened so far, and it would be amazing, but I don't think we actually will see it.
Yeah, actually, we did have a GC on Muro.
Yes!
for TCZ.
Sorry, yes,
that
you
was
did.
the cap against B Gaming, as Jordan mentioned before. They left that side of the map completely open. I think
Yeah.
I think it was either Lion or Madhouse in the GC got like a splash damage of like 34.
Yeah, and that was all.
But we 3-capped them out and they just didn't come to the party. So
yeah.
Yeah, and that's like the second time that happened to B Gaming as well. It was really weird. But look, B Gaming's not here. EL Gaming is. Horsemen are. I suspect that, again, we're going to be seeing a 2-0 coming out here for EL Gaming on Muravanka. As I said, they haven't lost it at all this season. Admittedly, it's not been a map that they've played all that much.
Well,
like
12 times. I think that's enough.
Yeah, but it's like one of their least played maps. It's actually their least played map, with the exception of Steps, which they perma-veto. And they've also been vetoing it out every now and then. I think it's more of a counter pick to some of the teams. Like, they'll pick Muravanka against teams that don't like playing Muravanka.
Yeah,
but they won't play Muravanka against a team good on Muravanka.
But look, I mean, here, Horsemen have got an E50M. I'm just not too sure if that's the right tank here from Muravanka. I'd much prefer an STB or even, even another tier 10.
This is classic EL Gaming. Straight onto the one flag, force your opponents to react. Nice. It's probably not exactly what he would have wanted there. Normally, we'd actually see 3 bat chats from EL Gaming on the cap here, so it is a bit of a change up, but it's still very much the similar sort of a strategy that they're running. And they're going to force Horsemen to react here. They're going to get the shots in. And look at this. They're already starting to out-trade Horsemen initially. Admittedly, not amazing, but they're getting the shots across. And this is just EL Gaming and their perfection really almost on Muravanka.
Yeah, well, they actually are taking a little bit of damage.
And they're in trouble now.
Yeah, in quite a bit of trouble. Gorilla and Sphinx coming around.
Principal needs to make some work happen here. Gorilla needs to go down, but they're not really focusing too well. They got a lot of shots there into Sphinx as well. Not onto Gorilla, who I think they should have been focusing. He was the one that committed. Now they do take him down, so it's a 1-for-1 overall. Favoring Horsemen at this point, though.
Yeah.
They do have a bit of a HP advantage. Hardliner going a little aggressive up there in his bat chat as well. He can't afford to really take this duel. He has to back off, and he does survive on one shot, but Principal's gone down. Wait, what happened to Principal? Was he on full HP?
I don't know. It looks like he might have been. Was that the Namorat?
Did I miss something?
I don't know, but right now, I don't know what's happening, but right now, Horsemen, they have the commanding advantage in this battle, a HP advantage of 3,000 right now, and Sphinx, well, he's just taken down Nice as well, so EL Gaming, they've only got 3 tanks left, one of them's on 87 HP, the unbeaten win streak of EL Gaming on Muravanka. It looks like it's just about to be broken, Jordan.
It is, and they took less than favourable trades to start off with. Horsemen playing very, very nicely in those bat chats, getting the push in at the right time. They recognised that Quiet was going to be on the reload, or almost on the reload, because he fired off a couple too many shots there when he was on the flag. I think EL was probably a little bit too eager to trade with some of those tanks that were going for the reset. I think they should have just played it a little bit safer there. But in the end, Horsemen, they've played this one really well, and they've responded to the mistakes that EL Gaming have made. And there you go, Horsemen, they pick up the win.
Well, gentlemen, even gods can bleed, it seems.
Apparently.
Horsemen
Maybe
really coming out swinging in that one, and yeah, I
maybe
think
we're in for a good series. I don't
what
know.
happened to Principal? Did you guys catch that? Watching that
Was
game
he on
as well?
full HP and they died, or did he just like get
I think
taken
he
out
just
quickly?
got focus fired really quickly.
yeah, I think it's because Spencer was sitting in a bush out protecting the other cap, and I think he obviously would have seen that he was out of place and that he was in a position to focus fire, and then they all just decided that it was a good opportunity to pick him off while he was in the open.
Clearly.
But yeah, otherwise, Horsemen played really well with that. The E50M, however, not always quite as armored. It was used sort of as like a little diversion as they took the shots at him, as then the bat chats could then roll in on top of their bat chats.
Super impressive start to Muravanka there. Really didn't think it was going to come down, especially how much praise I was giving EL Gaming's ability to focus fire players coming over that ridge. But Horsemen, they didn't make the mistake most teams do and poke one at a time. They committed to the cause. They waited for EL to be low on ammo. Like you said, they had that distraction tactic. They took a few shots of the bat chat, then came in with their own fully loaded bat chats and completely clipped them out here now with Horsemen with some wind in their sails here after that game. Do you think we could potentially see them take out another round of Muro Nomad?
Yeah, look, I think so. I think that was really it was good signs from the team. Certainly, there are signs of life there. They still do have plenty of fight, plenty of tactics left in them, and that particularly was really good for me because traditionally with EL, that strategy with a 3-cap with 3-pass tanks, usually bat chats, it's to bait the other team out of their defensive positions and force them into making a mistake and exposing themselves to get those resets. But what Horsemen did that was really cool was that they kind of reverse baited and they knew that that was the reaction that EL was going to get. They came into position to take shots onto Nondesu, and then when the bat shots came in, the other tanks were ready as well to react and take them out.
Look, I guess that comes back to what you were saying, Alex, about how EL, they like to play the same strat every single round, and we've seen that while it's worked for them time and time again. Horsemen, they said, we know what game you're coming to play. We're not even going to attempt that. We're going to bring our own rules, our own battlefield, and completely throw it on their heads here.
Yeah, look, it's good to see that on Muravanka, particularly because it's not the map that Horsemen picked, you know, and that's how you win against EL Gaming. You win by being a little bit innovative, by kind of trying to guess what EL are going to do and to counter them, because, you know, that strategy that we just saw there from EL Gaming, we have seen it time and time again throughout the season. And obviously, look, it's worked for EL Gaming so far in the season, but Horsemen, you know, I think they've sat down, they've said, okay, guys, how are we going to, you know, beat this one out? This is what EL are probably going to do on the attack here, and they've gone and done it.
Yeah, really happy to see Horsemen on the board with a win here. It's not going to be the clean sweep that we were dreading, Jordan. Great to see them at least showing up now. They still have a long and treacherous road ahead of them, but getting around on Muravanka, that's EL Gaming's pick. We really thought it was going to be a 2-0. That's at least some good signs here.
I agree, but I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch here. It is a good sign for Horsemen, but it's only one round. So it's not like it's the end of the day here for EL Gaming. If they come back here, they just completely smash Horsemen on the defensive side of Muravanka. I think we're back on the EL Gaming hype train, going back into mines. And look, it has to be some consistency here from Horsemen. They can't just show up for one round. They need to show up for multiple rounds in a row. More than that, if they're going to even challenge EL Gaming here. So that was good. I will give them that. But again, it's one round, so I'm not reading into it too much.
Fair call here. They do have a long way ahead of them. The T57 Heavy of Hokkien really doing work for them. I think the focus fire was just there from Horsemen. Like we mentioned, it wasn't the ammo rack taking out one of the EL players' principal. They were just able to focus him down the second that Spencer caught him out.
Yeah, that was solid stuff there. I mean, T57 Heavy doing exactly what it is designed to do, just putting out lots of damage. Managed to get out 3 clips across that battle. There for Hokkien. Black, not quite as fortunate, but interesting to see Rattlesnakes again up the top there. I mean, obviously in the mouse, he survived a little bit longer, but...
Yeah. It would have taken, obviously, a little bit of time to get into position. Obviously, in some metas with Muravanka, they use the mouse as almost like a bait strat, but it didn't seem like it was used well in this situation by Elong. They didn't really use it to sort of soak up the clips of the autoloaders.
And you can see here as well, Principal and Fox TS, they got their entire clip out, but each of them only managed to get one shot across, and that's a big loss in terms of your DPM. If your bat chat's only doing one shot of damage.
Not to mention how much props we were giving Fox TS on Himmels and the entire team in that promo video giving Principal. So to see them both come out here and really struggle to find their mark, worrying sign. But again, obviously, that just could be an outlier. As you have mentioned, Jordan, if they come back in here and just completely smash Horsemen into the dirt, then we're kind of back to where we started.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I mean, it's exactly what I said. I think Horsemen, they need to show up. Maybe they don't win this one on Muravanka, but they need to get 1-1 on Mines, and then they need to get a 2-0 on Ghost Town, which is possible. They've done that before against EL Gaming, but it's such a tough ask from them, really. I have to think that EL Gaming is just going to come out here and respond straight away. But look, I've been wrong in the past. I will admit that. And Horsemen, maybe they can prove me wrong once again.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy looking like it's coming out here from both teams even. STRV from EL Gaming, not something we see all the time from them. And an M4043 coming out from Horsemen. It'll be undoubtedly Spencer in that one. But not something that we see too often on Muravanka. Obviously, the artillery works, but Horsemen, they don't pick the artillery on Mura that much.
Yeah, this is interesting from the Horsemen, and I think could maybe be the X factor that they need to win the attack of Muravanka here. Obviously, EL Gaming, they've got quite a few squishy targets, a few of those slower targets as well that the M40 can put the damage into. So not a bad lineup to be going up against if you're Spencer in that artillery piece. Right now, though, EL Gaming looks like they're wanting control of the Magic Forest nice and early on. So to me, that means that Archon is going to be needing to be a little bit careful here. Make sure that Quiet and Black, I think, don't catch him out. But overall, a bit of a slower start from the Horsemen. That's expected. They do just want to get some spots out. They just want to start making that artillery piece work.
Can you imagine how wrong this might have gone for EL Gaming had Horsemen just jumped right on that cap? Like, they don't really have anyone in a position here. Like, they do have players to get the reset. Like, Nice in a pinch can get a reset, but they don't have anyone over there that can actually fight on that cap right now. They'd have to wait for the Mouses to get in position, EL Gaming. But in the end, Horsemen have decided to play the slow game, which is fair enough, given that they've got the arty.
Yeah.
But I just wonder what would have happened had they put 3 on the cap.
Yeah, it would have been very, very interesting. But Sphinx is going to get on the cap now. I don't really... I'm not a big fan of Muravanka putting 1 on the cap because you're never going to cap out a 1 flag or either flag just with 1, you know, unless you've got some crazy blocking strat or something like that. But Principal, he's going to be sent up to try and deal with that EO Gaming. Probably going to be able to get a line in the forest, maybe around the E line, pushing a few of their tanks up there. This could be a decent shot from Spencer. Could also miss like that and deal 0
Just
damage.
missed as well. Like, it went right by Principal there.
He got a little bit crazy there. He should have actually aimed in a little bit more.
Yeah, I think he might have been a little bit scared that Principal was going to go below the ridge and cause his shot to hit the ridge had he fired it. But in the end, so far, we haven't really seen too much coming out from Spencer in that artillery just yet. It is early on in the piece. And Sphinx has taken a bit of damage to his gun. Nandesu now taking a shot as well from Rattlesnake. Overall, it's still really like there's nothing you can read into this too much. There's some good map control though from EL Gaming, and I think that's going to be key here. They've got control of the Magic Forest. Anytime they need resets onto the 1 flag, it's going to be easy pickings for them. And if they want to wrap around the back and try and take down the arty, maybe there's an option for that as well. Obviously, they'll have to deal with Archon, but it's just another little option for EL Gaming, and that's what they are good at doing. Is that they give themselves so many options that when they do inevitably have to react, they can react with the best possible scenario.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't think if you're a real gamer, you really need to take out the RDPs here. Spencer is not having that much of an impact. That one, though, as I say that, that's just one of those hits. I think it's the height of the mouse that just lets it hit. So that was good. 750 damage from the RD. That's what you want to be seeing.
Yep.
But still, I'm not really seeing a clear win condition here from the Horsemen. I mean, yeah, they can slowly whittle down Principal, but looks like they're getting pushed down a little bit further, a little bit faster even.
Yeah, Fox TS in the SDRV all the way back on the J line. Trying to get shots into the flag, but not having too much luck at this point. I would say that EL Gaming is in the favourable position right now. They have a HP advantage. Nandesu's a one-shot now, essentially. Principal could peek around and pick up the kill, which he does. May get punished with a 90 shot to his face, but no, that one's not going to go into his direction. So overall, EL Gaming have played pretty nicely so far on the defensive side.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff there from EL Gaming to start themselves off taking down that mouse, and it's essentially going to mean that it's kind of like a 5-on-7 at the moment in terms of actual combat tanks, like if EL Gaming were to push in, because they don't really have to worry about the RD too much, or doing too much damage at least. Sphinx there is spotted out as well, which isn't ideal for the Horsemen. I mean, look, I'm looking at what options they have, and like, I don't really think that rotating around to the Magic Forest is going to be that good, because all of EL Gaming are going to be able to, you know, turn around and get a fire onto them then. So it's very, very tricky for the Horsemen.
EL Gaming not having any troubles right now. Sphinx, like, I mean, what is really Sphinx doing here? Like, he's not exerting any pressure.
Exactly. He's doing nothing. You know, like
he's capping, but EL Gaming doesn't really care. Whenever they want to get a reset, they'll get a reset. It's quiet in an STB1, easy peeks over that ridge. They've got bat chats ready to go should they need to rush over there and really commit to the fight. It's just not a great situation for Horsemen being a tank down already.
Not ideal. I mean, we need to see some big shots from this artillery piece. You know, if he can get a big one onto hardliner or something like that. You know, 400 damage into black, it's okay, but it's not going to win Horsemen the game here. No. You know, so they do need something a little bit more than that. The Horsemen.
What they are doing though is that they're rotating around now through the Magic Forest.
Okay, that's one of them's been spotted.
They're trying to make something happen, but I just don't think that it's going to work, because we've so often seen pushes around this direction, and it's like there's no cover on this side of the map, right? As soon as you're spotted, you can get shot from the 2-3 line up on that little ridge that EL Gaming, most of them are playing in. Fox TS can rotate across, get some shots down there as well. And Nice is going to have a really easy time of spotting out these bat chats as well. So I don't think that this is going to exert all that much pressure on EL Gaming, particularly given the fact that there's only 4 minutes left in this game. Horsemen are not putting pressure on a cap. The only way I think the Horsemen get back into this is if Spencer in that M4043 makes something absolutely massive happen.
Yeah, which I just don't see. He can't make something massive happen when he's firing at Mouses and 113s. You know, you can only deal.
Ammo rack, mate, easy.
Yeah, good luck. But Gorilla there in that batch at 25T taking 400 damage. I mean, just every little bit counts, and it's going in favour of EL Gaming right now. The HP advantage is over. Well, it's almost 4,000. You know, in favour. Yeah, in favour of EL Gaming.
Yeah, we see Rattlesnake taking a bit of damage here as well, but it's just not going to concern EL Gaming at all. They have a massive health pool to play with. All of their key tanks are still full HP, right? So the Bat Chat's still full HP. Quiet in the STB1 still full HP. I guess the STRV is doesn't really matter how much HP he's on at this point, but definitely the Bat Chat and the STB1, should we get into sort of a late game situation where we need to see a clutch out of EL Gaming, those are the tanks that you want to see on full HP.
Yeah, absolutely. So EL Gaming right now, they are sitting pretty, and with only 3 minutes left, it's starting to get a little bit worrying for the Horsemen in terms of time, because they've got to contend with that now as well, being on the attack, and with Gorilla still taking that damage in that Bat Chat. I mean, really, I think they need to find a quick kill onto Fox TS in that S-Tank. Horsemen, they need to maybe, you know, get a reload after that, maybe kill Fox TS and nice, get a reload, and then move on to the main EL Gaming force. Even if they can just get like a spot onto Fox TS, but of course, you know, he's in a S-Tank. The S-Tank has a very nice camo value. So it's not easy to spot him out.
The problem right now for Horsemen as well is that their tanks are so split up. If they do take a fight on the southern end of the map, pretty much all of EL Gaming are going to be able to get shots into them, but not all of Horsemen is going to be able to get shots into EL Gaming. And if they take a fight on the northern part of the map, it's again somewhat of a similar situation. So Horsemen are really playing themselves out of this one, I feel like. They just haven't been able to do anything that's been able to give them an advantage.
Absolutely. So, look, and those Horseman tanks that originally rotated back down the bottom, bottom of the 2 flag, they're rotating back now because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't spot anything out. They didn't want to go super aggressive. And again, Spencer, look, he's had a lot of chances to hit these shots, and I think RNG is not the only factor in play with him missing those ones. He really does need to get a little bit sharper on that Artie.
Yeah, I'm in at 30 left here. Horsemen, they don't have the damage to deal that, like they don't have the DPM to get rid of EL Gaming at this point. They don't have the opportunity to cap because they have no map control. EL Gaming, I mean, in particular, Quiet, he's kind of just going hunting here for some extra damage, trying to pad those stats a little bit by the looks of things. It just feels as though Horsemen have played themselves out of this one by playing far too slow. Losing Nundesu early on in the piece has obviously been a bit of a spanner in the works. Quite a key player in their roster, but you have to deal with that. Like, if you lose your player early, you have to have a plan B, and it just seems as though Horsemen don't have a plan B. Yeah,
and again, and Spencer missing his shot on that artillery piece onto Black, and, well, looks like plan A and plan B for the Horsemen right now is going to be lose. Because EL Gaming looking very, very confident and may even win this one without losing a single tank. Gorilla and OBOV, they're still alive in their Bat Chats, but Gorilla's on the reload. And OBOV, he's all the way back at the back of the map, so this may even just be a timeout victory for EL Gaming.
I think it will be. EL Gaming aren't going to push in here really and do anything too silly, but even if they were to push in and do the most ridiculous stuff we've ever seen, there's no way that they would lose this one from here on out. So this was the exact situation that I didn't want to see from Horsemen. I really needed to see them come in here and have a very good game, if at least make it close on Muravanka in the second half. But to go 3-1 down here against EL Gaming, I mean, I just don't think that of course they can come back from it, but I just don't see it happening the way that they're playing there on the attack of Muravanka.
No, not at all. I mean, that was yeah, I don't know what they were planning, whether they were planning for the M40 to get like massive damage out, but whatever they were planning, it didn't work.
Yeah, that was a bit of a whitewash. We obviously wanted to see Horsemen do a little bit better after that first half, and maybe just a fluke coming through here, because that second half, night and day performance, it just didn't look good from Horsemen from start to finish. And I think, like you said, John, it was curious to see what their backup plan was, considering that after they lost the Mouse, they didn't really do anything else here. And Nomad, when you're in a position where you're down a tank early, where do you go from there?
Yeah, look, that was a bit painful to watch.
Yeah, it really was.
It was like watching a Coalition Zoo game.
that's why it hurts so much. You know, I got secondhand tilt watching it.
You can identify.
It's close to home, and it's close to home.
Getting a little bit of PTSD, and just eyes off in the distance. You know, but
1,000 miles there.
They just sort of like I saw what they were trying to do. They were really relying on Spencer to really whittle down the defense of EL.
Yeah.
But
He's no
his
Obelisk.
shots, he's no Obelisk, exactly. And so many of those shots just missing by a bare fraction. And those 4 bat chats, they were just there, you know, trying to eke out where those positions were, trying to get the spots for Spencer, but ultimately, it's just really to no avail. And I think what they really needed to do was to be a bit more aggressive, a bit more decisive in what flank they wanted to try and break from EL. Easier said than done, given that the positions that EL had pretty much rock solid. Like hard to fault any of the positions that EL took.
Yeah, losing a tank in the early game, especially when your backup is to just hope that your artillery can whittle someone down. Difficult against any team, but of course going up against the best team, you have to be hitting your shots perfectly, and that's just not what Spencer was doing right there. Missing a few key ones. Of course, he started off strong with a big shot onto the mouse that Jordan got a little bit tilted off.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how that hit. Like, you could see on the Artie POV, it was all red. There's no way that shot hits, and then it's just like, boop. It's like, what?
Yeah, 750 onto a mouse.
Rightio, as you do.
Yeah, apparently he fired 10 shells, only connecting with 3.
Yeah, that's
30% hit ratio. Unfortunate stuff coming out of that one, but that's going to be Muravenka done and dusted. 1-1 to each team. Still a surprising victory for Horsemen on the defensive side.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that to come out and in such a resounding fashion either.
But it kind of just makes up for the fact that they got 2-0'd on Himmelsdorf, right?
Yeah,
it's not even like it's a win. It's like, okay, we clawed a round back, right? That should have been a 1-3 here with Horsemen getting a win on Himmelsdorf, or now then a 2-2 in the equal. But they just weren't able to get one on their own map pick, and that's the problem.
Unfortunate stuff for them. We'll have to see how the damage charts lay at the end to see who the real heavy hitters for EL were, because I think only one player died at the end, and it was the last shot coming out of Spencer just before the time victory came through. So a near perfect performance for EL. And
again, Rattlesnake.
Yeah, you can't rattle the Rattlesnake, mate. He comes back in, I think he's top scored for the team in
every
all
game.
4 rounds now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He might have been second in one of them behind Principal. I'm not sure. But he's definitely been a real rock at the moment for EL Gaming.
I'm telling you, he's their new star player. Called it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Rattlesnakes, they make a lot of noise and they're quite deadly. And right now, he's all eyes on him because he's constantly getting the top of the charts. Obviously, the mouse, very powerful tank that's enabling him to do so. But you still got to be a strong player against a squad like Horsemen to come in potentially first game on LAN with EL Gaming against Horsemen in APAC. It's still really impressive.
Yeah, it's true. It's quite obvious that he's got some skill in heavy tank driving so far, because I think it was 3 games he's all in a mouse.
I
apart
think
from
all
one.
of them. Yeah,
I think in the other one was he type 5 or type 4.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he's been in a heavy tank every game.
Pretty game. Yeah, so he may be one of the new heavy tank players for the new kind of meta that's sort of developing along.
Makes a lot of sense.
It does, because I didn't really, to me, feel like they had a heavy tank player.
Yeah, you
right?
say
they all jumped in there, but they would never. There was no Bohan, right? Who was always
that's
in
a
the
great
heavy
point.
tank.
You look at the EL lineup and you think, okay, they can pretty much any of them can play whatever they want on any day and still do well. But like you mentioned, when you think of, if I say who's the heavy tank player for team efficiency, you don't have to think you say Bohan. But now potentially Rattlesnake could be coming in and filling that roster, and it's a very smart thing to have, especially when the meta can shift. If you're not proficient at playing the mouse, if you don't know how to angle your armor the same way that Bohan can seamlessly block like 6k damage and make it look like child's play, then you might struggle against team efficiency in the finals, and that's the squad that EL are looking to beat more than anyone.
Probably. I mean, obviously they want to beat Horsemen here, but I think they could probably fairly expect to really be able to take this one without too much difficulty.
Yeah.
I think team efficiency was going to be their major
Let's be real. A team like EL, they have their eyes set on the finals from the word go.
For sure.
The first game of APAC, they're looking at the finals. But look, jumping into Mines now, this is a very EL-favored map. Jordan, take us away, mate.
Yeah, and nothing too surprising coming out here from EL. Again, a TVP 50-51 coming out for EL Gaming on the attack. It's not something that they've actually been running in sort of the late stages of the season. They had gone away from it a little bit, but they've gone back to it. It'll probably be Fox TS in that one, and I do like seeing him in that tank here on the attack.
I like the TVP
of Mines. I think it works out really well. It does sometimes have difficulty up against a mouse, but the good thing here, the good news for EL Gaming is there's only one mouse on Horseman.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty nice for EL. And, well, Spencer in that T49, hopefully he'll be able to get some good shots across in towards those lighter tanks on EL Gaming. Fox TS Black and Hardliner, all in those tier 10 mediums. But right now, some early pressure being put on by EL Gaming. They've already moved Hardliner and Black all the way up the coast here, which is really a lot of map control that Horsemen have essentially given away for free. I'm not really liking this start here from the Horsemen. They maybe tried to contest the hill, but didn't push their point on it at all, and now they're rotating back. So a little bit confused from the Horsemen, and I think that EL Gaming here really taking a lot of map control away.
Yeah, I'm still not sold. I'm never really a fan of the beach push here, really, because this is exactly what Spencer's doing right now is what is so easy to do. As soon as he goes unlit, he's going to pop out there, get an easy reset, because this position you can just poke out around the corner behind that bush. You won't get spotted, particularly if you're in a light tank. And there's no cap pressure, really, I don't think. It's down to EL Gaming here making sure their trades are successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, this is going to be a successful trade because OBOV's just been
what on earth is Horsemen doing?
Absolutely. I mean, no reason to push out like this for the Horsemen. Like you said, they could have just gone for the resets.
I've just looked over at Nomad's face. It's just like complete and utter like, what? Yeah. I'm kind of, I'm a little bit perplexed here as to what Horsemen have wanted to do there. I guess they're just trying to force the issue. They're trying to play their own game at this point, but it's clearly not worked out.
Clearly, absolutely not. OBOV's been exploded. I mean, you know, EL Gaming have like a 5,000 or so HP advantage at the moment. This has just not gone well. It's not gone well at all for the Horsemen, unless Spencer can get some magic shot here with his T49, which he's not really going to do. Well, actually, Hardliner does get dropped down 2-0, but at what cost? Horsemen have lost 3 tanks already.
Yeah, I think it's game over really at this point. I don't see Horsemen being able to come out of this one. Nice in his RU-251, shooting into the side of the mouse. It's not fun in an RU-251, but he should be able to pen the majority of these shots. But in reality, like, it doesn't matter what he's doing at this point. There's going to be far more damaging tanks on the field for Horsemen. Sphinx giving him a bit of a love
bit
tap.
of a bump, yep. Sphinx is going in for seconds. And Sphinx is keen
Sphinx
on
won't
Nice.
get him because Sphinx is on the reload. So Nice should survive there.
Oh, no. Well, Nice.
Nope.
Not going to be
Somehow they don't
surviving.
kill him. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Horsemen just completely falling apart there, going a bit too ham.
Yeah, that was like... I think we could see why Horsemen have a bad win rate on mines at the moment. Surprising to see them do this on the mines defense, though, because this was just incomprehensible. Like going up to the hill first and then not actually pushing the hill and then retreating back from the hill and then pushing the beach, even though all of EL Gaming were watching the beach and Horsemen knew that. Like, very confusing.
It was a little bit. Yeah, nothing good to say about that one for Horsemen. So far on the Lions defense, they had a 44% win rate, which was actually their better side. On the attack, which is what they're moving over to now, they've only won once this entire season, so 11% win rate. I'm not sure I'm too keen on this for Horsemen.
Yeah, there are not enough words in the English language to describe that scenario as well as Nomad's face did. Nomad, please tell me, what was going through your head when you saw Horsemen go for that push?
My first thought was that one of Coalition's replays?
Yeah.
I mean,
Might have been.
oh man, like I think the mentality there was a little bit. We don't need 6k HP. We don't need to have an extra batch.
We can win with 4 tanks.
We can win with you know, we'll show them. We'll really show them. We'll really give them the disrespect. But nah, I'm not sure why they did any of that. I mean, like, they could have completely done that in a less ham-fisted manner. Like, they didn't really suss out any of the positions on the 1-2 line at all. They just knew that, you know, they had some tanks on cap. You know, Spencer could have gotten the resets all day. He could have got the resets for days. He's a T49, right? He doesn't need to pen his shots. He's got an HE gun. He just needs to, you know, knock off, you know, 100, 200 damage, you know, every so often, and, you know, he's got the resets. And then it's the balls then is in EL's court, and they have to react. But instead, they decided that they'd go push into the firing squad.
Yeah, so we searching for a needle in a haystack, trying to find out why Horsemen went for that push, Chippy?
I'm trying to find it as well, but
well, you guys are the kings of questionable pushes. Surely you can give me something.
We
Come
are,
on, boys.
We are the kings, though. But yeah, we try out things that we probably shouldn't try out.
Yeah.
But in this case,
you don't do it in the final, the semi-finals against EL.
Yeah, you don't take that kind of risk in the finals. It's questionable why they just couldn't get Spencer just to double bush behind there, reset the mouse and the RU, and then continue on there and let EL decide what to do and then react to that.
Even crazy by your standards, Alex?
My standards are actually a lot higher than that. I'll have you know.
Gee,
So,
that's a bit of a... Not
Yeah,
sure. That's a bit of a zinger.
I don't think Archon will be plating with me anytime soon.
No,
if he hears that, so.
Yeah.
But look, really questionable stuff out of Horsemen. Not what we expected to see after they showed signs of life on Murovanka. And the second half of Muro didn't look good, and the first half of Mines, like we know, it's an EL favored map, but that wasn't EL doing anything. That was Horsemen gifting them the win.
Well, it is Horseman's worst map, and it is EL Gaming's best map, so I got to say, what else could you really expect coming out of that? And
yeah, but this,
I don't know.
I feel like you shouldn't be expecting this.
IBF is like, I'm in the mouse! W!
It's not in the mouse.
It's not in the mouse. He found that out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't think that worked out the way Horseman would have wanted it, and EL Gaming
Pretty happy
about it.
But
of
look,
course.
it's easy to identify what they could have done. All they have to do is sit Spencer there, just chuck HE on the hill, constantly get the resets, and that's not what they did. Rattlesnake, once again, top scoring for the team in terms of
Rattlesnake
damage.
is doing work. He's doing a lot of work. And you know, the funny thing is that EL Gaming, I think they were even thinking of bringing Evenfall potentially in place of Rattlesnake to the season finals. Evenfall, of course, used to play for Meltdown, exactly. But I'm glad that they didn't. Looking at that.
Yeah, Evenfall did have a little bit of a rough debut here in APAC. I think the one game they pulled him in, Dark Wolves were able to 2-0 them on
2-0 them.
Nuremberg.
Yeah.
So that maybe was a
bit how you going?
bit of a black red mark on his resume.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you can blame that really on Evenfall.
No, of course
It was a team thing, but Rattlesnake definitely does seem to be having a positive impact for EL Gaming right now. So it's a good start for them.
He's a very good player.
And it's a good start for him. He's a very good player. The words right out of Fox TS's mouth.
Yeah, Fox obviously doing his scouting and sure with the help of the team to find a great addition to the team that's really skyrocketing them forward right now. And curious to see if Horsemen haven't gone full tilt just yet, if they can regain their composure, because here's one of the things as well. The crowd, it can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy right now. If the crowd is dead silent,
Yeah.
Horsemen have to be feeling that on the inside as well.
Yeah, it's a shame actually we don't get to hear the crowd. But he was the one that led that charge for Horsemen.
Donuts, mate.
Yep.
He's got more donuts than we got
He
backstage.
didn't even fire a shot. Like, oh, that's
Bad
really
feeling
bad.
in a bat chat.
I think they're on the tilt.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. Like
they're on the
maybe
tilt.
that was a really questionable play, and well, they said in their pre-match interview that they don't try and have bad vibes in their team. So I don't know. Maybe they are getting some bad vibes right now.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like you said,
It is only 4-1, right? It's early days.
That's
But
3 more rounds for EL and 3 rounds
I
for
know.
EL. That's what, another round on Mines.
It's
and
better
then-
than the regular best of 9s because one more round and Neil's done.
Yeah, that's true. Ghost Town is maybe where Horsemen can
Exactly.
stabilize here, but I feel like the damage is dealt at that stage. Then going on to proc EL, it's just looking too good. But let's get the second half of Mines underway. Jordan, Alex, stage is yours, mate.
Oh well, M4043 coming out for both these teams. And
That's interesting.
you have to remember, when Fox TS was in his last artillery matchup, that was actually against Opalisk, and he got completely bullied out of it. But this time against Spencer, Archon's not managed to get that boost.
Oh, no, Archon.
It's not an easy boost. I'll give him that. It's not an easy boost. I can't do that one.
Wow.
Not that I can do many
That's so
boosts.
hard if you can't do it, Jordan.
Alex, tell me how many boosts you can do.
I'm really good at boosts.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
Maybe not in Mortal Tanks, but I'm good at jumping up hills in other games.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Enlighten us. Tell me more. Actually, don't tell me more. I'm not interested. I don't care. I really don't care.
That's probably the best decision. But look, right now, Horseman pushed up to the hill. See Hokyao, he's actually in a pretty good position. They have managed to get up here without taking too much damage. So this is actually pretty good from the Horsemen. I like this. They can just push their point a little bit and really gain a lot of map vision and a lot of map control from being up on the hill if they want to here.
Is Fox TS having a look and seeing if he can get some counter arty going on?
You see, you don't look there if you're counter arty.
Why not?
Because you don't. That means you can't see the top, the north and the west.
Yeah.
You look down to the right so that you've got your whole, your whole camera on potential places. So
I mean, it's not even where Spencer was sitting, so it's basically irrelevant at this point. So, Horsemen, need to see them doing a little bit better on the attack here than they did on the defense. Doesn't seem as though EO Gaming's too phased though at this point. They're not doing any crazy pushes like EO Gaming, like Horsemen did. The one thing that I am actually a little bit surprised by here for EO Gaming, or not a surprise, but it is a change, is that typically EO Gaming would have Hardliner up on the 9-0 line boost when they're playing Mines. They'll initially push him up right from the start of the game. They haven't done that this time. I think it's not a terrible decision, but I feel as though, you know, like, why not, almost?
Yeah,
why
exactly.
not put him
Why
on the
not?
boost? Because
Yeah,
he can just come off whenever he wants if they do push towards the 2 flag. But once Horseman has gotten into position, they've gained control of the mine, there's not really an opportunity to get back up on that boost because you can get spotted out quite easily. But EO Gaming, they've opted not to do that, so I don't think that they're going to have too many difficulties at this point. It does rely on how these arties do play out, though, I think, mostly how this game goes.
Yeah, exactly. So Fox DSE is going to be able to get a shot, get the reload happening, and not going to be hitting too much on that one. We've got Hockey out, moving up a little bit. I think he knows where Fox DS is, but not going to be landing that shot. Sphinx, obviously not going to be trying the boost here, but maybe getting a little bit more vision for the Horsemen. I'm liking this from the Horsemen. I'm liking the fact that they are actually, you know, slowly pushing up. This is the patience that they talked about, and they are gaining quite a lot of map control by doing this. You know, now they can, you know, start to pinpoint where those members of EL Gaming are on the map, and it almost look like Sphinx is going for the run up on the boost there for a second.
Don't think a 113 can get up that boost.
No.
Maybe with a push.
With a lot of pushes.
Horseman, we haven't seen too much damage coming out from either of these arties just yet. But I still feel like Horseman is really not getting where they need to. Like, Principal and Black have got good control of the coast. The rest of EL Gaming have got good control over the 1 flag. I mean, what's the end game here for Horseman? Like, where do they go from here?
Well, look, the issue is they haven't dealt that much damage. Like, you'd love a nice big arty shot on towards Quiet, you know? You would love that. But I don't think Quiet's not going to peek out unless he's actually got a shot onto one of the Horsemen. So that's probably not going to happen. I like how Spencer's pushed quite far up. It means he's going to be able to have some angles that, you know, maybe he wouldn't have otherwise had. So it could be another option for the Horsemen. They've still got 6 minutes left.
Yep, well, they've got a lot of time. But their Mines attack has so far this season left a lot to be desired. And, you know, it doesn't fill me with confidence when I look down on my little sheet of paper here and they have a red next to their Mines attack that says 11%. And then you look on EL Gaming and you see they've got 92% on the Mines defense. It's like, you know, draw your own conclusions, but I think I've drawn mine.
Hardliner here, so close. If he just pokes out, then Spencer could get a massive shot on towards him, but I don't actually think that one's going to happen. So instead, Nice might be the focus here for Spencer. Should be able to pop a nice, easy shot in towards him.
Yeah, and it actually could be a big shot here as well.
Yep,
not massive. Decent, but not massive. And Nice is in trouble here because Gorilla's going to reload. Nice. He won't get taken out in one shot there. But he's actually going to be, I think, out-reloaded again by Gorilla, so he might not even get another shot off.
Yeah, Type 5
That's the
heavy
DPM
reload.
of the mouse.
Yep, exactly. The Type 5 Heavy does have a long reload, so there you go. Nice jumps down to Gorilla there. Good little kill for the Horseman, and just like that, Archon up on the boost. He's going to be getting the reload soon, and this is a really good bit of pay here from the Horseman. They're just slowly, you know, gradually pushing up, taking meter by meter of the map off EL Gaming. It's working well.
It is working well, and EL Gaming, they need to respond because this is their best map. They don't want to be dropping this one to Horseman, that's for sure. Principal, he's trying to get some shots into Gorilla. It would be the killing blow if he did manage to penetrate, but at that kind of an angle, at that kind of a distance, shooting through a bush, it can be very, very hard to actually know exactly where you're shooting at on the tank, and then also to even get the penetrating shot in a bat shot at that range. It's like, you have to really rely on RNG at that point to put your shot in the good spot.
Oh,
Good shot from
736. That's a good shot, yeah. Absolutely, but right now, Horseman with about a 500 HP advantage. Not major, of course. It is nice having Nice off the field in that Type 5 Heavy.
Is that nice?
Yeah, it is nice.
Nice.
But Sphinx there in the 113. Going to be pushing up, and this is exactly what the Horsemen need to do. They just gradually push up, gradually overrun EL Gaming. And I don't think Quiet's had much of an impact there in that T1
Would you say he's been a bit quiet?
I would say he's been a bit quiet, Jordan.
I definitely think Spencer's been having a really good game in this arty. Like, he's been putting in a lot of work. Principal, though, does take down Gorilla, so there's a kill for EL Gaming. The health pools, they're not that far apart right now. Eel Gaming at a deficit, but they've actually got a tank advantage now. And Horsemen, they don't want to let too much slip here. Archon's going to be absolutely critical up on that boost on the reload right now, but there's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds left here for Horsemen to work with. They do need to get a bit of a wriggle on right now.
Yeah, they do, and that was a nice shot there on towards that TVP. Damages Nundesu's gun, which isn't the end of the world. OBOV in that bad chat, though, for the Horseman. His ammo rack has been damaged, which isn't ideal. And Nundesu there getting really pressured by Black. One more shot. Yep, that's it.
Good play from Black and Principal in the meanwhile as well. Able to take down OBOV, and what looked so good at the start for Horsemen, it looked like they were really playing that one well, slowly taking map control off EL Gaming, slowly taking kills. Now all of a sudden has shifted well in the favor of EL Gaming here. Principal, once he's off the reload, assuming he doesn't die, he'll be able to take down Spencer relatively easily if he spots him out. Archon needs to make this work from up on the boost. He needs to get in there and get those shots going right now because he needs to get another reload off before this game is out.
Yeah.
He probably needs to take down Principal, take down Hardliner, and take down Quiet. He's only going to be able to take down 2 of those with the rest of the shots left in his clip here at the moment. But he's just not having that impact that we need to see him late game.
Oh, that was a nice shot there from Spencer, actually taking down Hardliner. But yeah, now that Spencer's shot, Principal's off the reload, going to be able to spot him out very, very easily. And that is a dead artillery piece.
Nope.
No, it's
Hokiao
not.
Covering him off. Good play from Hokiao. They would have expected, because they did actually spot out Principal, so they would have expected him to push forward there. I like that Hokiao was covering off his teammate, and that does give Spencer a little bit of an extra chance here to get some shots off. But now Fox TS looking in his direction. As soon as Spencer fires a shot off, one has to think that Fox TS probably could get that counter arty. He's got better ideas though. He's decided he wants to take down Hokiao instead. And overall, with only a minute left to work with, Horsemen, I don't know if they've got the time to work with here.
Yeah, and that was a good shot from Fox TS there, taking down the IS-4. And I think that almost, does it seal the deal?
It's really only Archon here, and he can't. Well, he can clip out Black, and he can, of course, take down Quiet and Fox TS. But he's going to need, I think, at least one more shot from Spencer here to hit something.
Yeah.
So that he has the extra, a little bit of a leeway with those shots.
Because going off average damages, it's
like
2 shots for Quiet and 2 shots for Fox TS. And then he doesn't have to reload.
So, he could high roll, but you can't really rely on that. So I would say ideal scenario here is Spencer takes down Quiet, one-shots him, and then Fox TS can clean up Black and Archon can clean up Black and Fox TS. But in 25 seconds, I think it's gone. It's too far gone now.
Yeah, exactly. It is too far gone. He'll barely even be able to get the clip out after that. So there's 2 shots. I don't know what Archon's scared of, but yeah, 13 seconds left. That is not going to happen, I don't think. So, look, a good try there from the Horsemen. They've really given it a crack. I liked how they played this one, but just not going to work in the end of the day. Getting timed out, so disappointing.
Yeah, great stuff coming out of EL. Once again, another victory on Mines, taking that 2-0-5-1 to end the half here. EL up over Horsemen, and I don't know, Horsemen, they showed one great round, and the rest have been quite abysmal, guys.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I think the one round that they did win, it wasn't even necessarily... Well, it was... Okay, I'll say it was good play from Horsemen, but there was some mistakes really there from EL Gaming, which is what Horsemen capitalized on. It wasn't Horsemen pushing it or making the round theirs, right? They were given it almost by EL Gaming, I feel.
Yep, as we reach this basically half time of the match here, players going to take 10 minutes or so, go get some water, go to the bathroom.
I don't think EL Gaming needs that.
They're machines, they're fine. They just need maybe the joints oiled, who knows.
They're rolling on.
Yeah, they're pretty happy to roll on.
Safi's Swedish flag still sitting there.
I was just trying to say Safi's Swedish flag. Oh, I wonder if that's going to be there for the whole weekend. But
wouldn't it be funny if like EL Gaming and Team Efficiency face each other in the final, and then EL Gaming sitting on that side with the Swedish flag? Like what?
What's where the higher seeded team seats by the look of it? Because EL sitting there, Efficiency was sitting there.
Yeah, that's true. But I wonder who would be technically the highest seed then, given that. Well, I suppose it would still be EL, right? But they technically both won their semi-finals, so it should be even.
All right, guys, let's have a look at how this went down. Himmels 2-0 to EL. They busted out a very interesting Udes pick on the first round here, which kind of set the tone of how this game was going to go down. EL weren't strangers to mixing it up. They weren't going to let Horsemen try something new on their watch and just beat them at their own game here. The second round, pretty textbook as well out of EL. Then, of course, on Muro Horsemen, they showed signs of life. We thought, hey, maybe we've got a game on our hands. They showed a very convincing win on Muravanka, an expertly done push, executed well. Like you said, there were a few mistakes from EL, but you could really chalk that round up to Horseman decisiveness rather than an EL blunder. Second round of Muro, different story. Didn't
100%.
look good. Horseman looked crap. Once again, coming onto mines, it looked crap 2 more times. I don't know what to say here, Jordan. It could be over for Horseman right now.
I'm going to say it was the expected result.
Ghost Town could be the buffer here.
It could be. They
It could
need
give
the
him one more
2-0
map.
on
It
it.
could give him
I
one
think
more map.
I realistically think it's going to be the 1-1, and then we're going to be going to what would be a 7-2, which is what I predicted. But we'll have to see. It is possible for Horsemen to 2-0 there on Ghost Town, but I don't know. I just don't think it's going to happen here. The way that EL Gaming is looking, they're not completely stomping Horsemen here. It's not like they're getting completely shut out of all of these rounds, but they are convincingly winning most of the rounds that we're seeing coming out tonight.
So who won the artillery war here?
Fox DS.
Fox DS won that one.
100%.
Well, Spencer didn't do too bad early on, but Fox DS really came into his own towards the end of that one.
Rattlesnake, 4 out of 6 games he's been at the top here, but Black's going to be taking that one
He's still
away
up the
from
top,
him.
really,
Yeah,
like
in
second place for EL. So
it's nuts.
putting in work.
The mouse player really doing work for the squad here. But that was Mines. You guys have played it against EL. You know how aggressive they can be. But on the attacking side, Horsemen, they kind of just let the round slip away. And that was something that they actually did against you guys as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it's a really easy trap to fall into. Like, we've done it before. It's when you're facing a defense on Mines, because Mines is such a small map, and there's only so many places that you can really sort of try and attack. It's hard to be innovative on a map that's been around since, well, forever.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that vision control and map control is really important because it's so easy to be spotted out, and trying to time your pushes right and trying to time your scouting runs right is really, really difficult, just because how small the map is again. But I still feel that Archon, had he gotten to the boost a little bit earlier, it could have been a completely different story. I think he left that a little bit too late. I think if he'd gone up maybe a couple of minutes earlier and really gotten to that boost position a bit earlier, you know, probably could have spotted out a few more things for Spencer, because I felt that he did better this game round than, say, compared to on that Muro game. Although he did more damage on the Muro game, not as effective this time.
He's only able to output 1,300 damage with 11 shots fired as well. So like you said, a little bit late to the punch, not getting up on the boost as early as we would have liked to see him here. But yeah, again, it is a very small map, and with the mouse being a driving force here, when we saw Mines back in the bat chat meta, it was like 30-second rounds, right? EL, whichever team they're up against, and then meet on the hill and just proceed to blow each other to bits. Of course, Mines now is a much more strategic and methodical push. Chippy, coming into this one, does that favor EL, this new style of play?
I don't know. With EL, they do like their fast, aggressive pushes, especially on Mines. It used to be almost pretty much all auto loaders in the middle, you know, 6 bat chats, maybe a T49 as well, and whoever won that initial brawl in the middle would obviously win the game. But EL's becoming a bit more methodical in certain maps, especially with the change to the metas. Everything's sort of slowing down. I think on their attack, Horsemen could have done it a little bit better, and that could have swayed it in their favor. It was like a simple move as well was Principal moved up on the 1-2 line towards the island, and that made Spencer have to fall back from that position. So he could have had more advantageous shots into their base. And that even a little aggressive push, it was sort of to kill Gorilla as well, but that sort of moved them back and forced them to readjust.
There's a valid point here, and of course Fox CS winning out the artillery war for EL, giving them a boost here. But that's going to be Mines done and dusted. 2-0 going over to EL. They lead currently 5-1 in the series. Going on to Ghost Town, this is where we think Horsemen can drag out another map here, but we're expecting this one to end around Prokhorovka. Ghost Town, EL, they have struggled with it. They haven't looked their best. We've seen them get 2-0'd on it before.
A lot of times.
Yeah, what's changed on Ghost Town? Is it back to kind of that train of thought that they prefer that fast meta and they're really not adjusting to the mouses, do you think, Chippy?
Yeah, the meta has definitely changed on Ghost Town. It used to have a lot more like heavy tank 113 50B sort of flow. That meant that obviously tanks could get into position, play really aggressively, but because it's sort of slowed down with the mouses having such powerful armor, DPM and HP pool, you see lots of teams obviously bring them, like T brought 4 on attack and as well as on defense. So that kind of meta has sort of changed the speed of how all the games have played, even on certain maps, which you would think that they're more open, like steps and proc, that you see at least one mouse or two even.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a high-octane team like EL Gaming being forced to slow down their play due to having to play in line with what's popular and what's powerful at the moment. So it's always great when they are able to bring their own little twist on it and still do work. But how do we feel that Horsemen can take a round off EL and Ghost Town here, Alex?
Oh, look, I mean, Ghost Town, like we said, it is a map that EL aren't that comfortable on. To be honest, I think that when we think about you know, those games that haven't worked for EL on Ghost Town, we think about lots of their 2-flag pushes that have been a little bit shaky. So if EL go for a 2-flag push on the attack, Horsemen do need to be ready for it. I think that's probably what EL are going to be leaning towards. EL as well, they're a little bit shaky with sometimes they get a little bit too aggressive when they're pushing in on the attack. So I think the Horsemen really should be looking to win their defensive side here and just go for sort of a heavy but not stationary lineup.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I'd like some Mausers, obviously. The T57 heavy that Hokyar's been playing quite well so far in this series. I'd love to see a T57 here. Maybe a bat channel or two thrown in there as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it has to be on the defensive side here. If Archon as well in the 50B, if he does pick that up, which is something we see him picking up fairly often, he's going to have to be a key player for them.
Interesting stuff, friend. Of course, we've got to look at the mental game as well. Very important in these long best of 13 series. So we have a 10-minute break for the players to kind of gather their bearings, sit back, and think about how this one went down. So, Nomad, let's say you're playing right now. You're in Horseman's shoes. You had one really good win against EL Gaming, but the other 5 didn't look great. How do you get yourself back into this series with a mental state that could beat EL Gaming?
I think you just got to really reset there and just try not to let, I guess, the like the stresses and the feelings that have sort of have burdened Horsemen down up until before the break. Not let that affect them coming into the second half of the series. And definitely, I think, really trying to assess, you know, what can we do to sort of bring down Elong consistently every map in the next few maps as best as we can. I think the key to that is probably slowing down the gameplay a bit and really trying, well, not too much, but like in the sense that trying to make sure that it's a more methodical sense of play.
That's a great point to mention. They are able to at least look back on one win and maybe draw inspiration from how that turned out, because if this was a 6-0 at the moment, you could tell they would definitely be in a worse state at the moment, but they still have the backing of the home crowd. Maybe they can get them hyped up. They mentioned in that video earlier, they're a team that are friends and family. They love to play tanks together. They love each other's company. They're not too affected by tilt. They can stay happy. They can stay positive. And this is where it's going to count. This is where it's going to matter for that kind of like tidbit to really mean something for these guys. Because going in from this halftime into a series where you're down 5-1, you're 2 rounds away from being knocked out of contention for the finals here. It's got to play very heavy on the mind.
It does, but I think they have to be realistic about their expectations coming into this one. I think they would have been, even if maybe you would say to everyone, look, I think we can win this one against EL Gaming. If I was in Horseman's shoes, I'd have been coming into that one thinking, look, we're not expected to win this. We just go out there, we enjoy ourselves, we take the game in front of our home crowd. We see what we can do here, but if we lose, we lose, right? It's not a big deal. They were very, highly unlikely to get through to the grand final, so that's probably not even something that's playing on their mind at all.
I don't know. Judging by some of the shots we've seen, they look pretty down and out.
Of course you're going to be down. You're going to be disappointed, but at the end of the day, you come out there and you think, okay, look, we've given it a good crack, but that's about as good as we were going to get.
Look, hopefully they have a great after party after this one and go out and enjoy the home crowd celebration if they are able to make it.Maybe even they get third over Karen Tiger.
Well, they would have to win 7-6.
Oh, yeah, they really
Or they'd have to lose 7-6. Or lose 7-5.
7-5, yeah, they've got a long road.
7-5, or they'd have to lose 7-4, and then it goes down to how the rest of it plays out.
Yeah, just in case you guys don't understand how the 3rd, 4th seeding is determined, it's by whichever team won the most amount of rounds
against their opponent in their loss. And then it goes into the fastest round win, similar to how the tiebreaker wins, well, the tiebreaker map choice works. So whoever had the faster round win would then be 3rd if they had equal 7-4, 7-4. And if then their fastest round win was even equal, which is highly unlikely, but if that were the case as well, then it goes down to the team
Rock,
that dealt,
paper, scissors.
Then it goes down to the team that dealt the most damage, and then that team would be in 3rd. But I don't think that Horseman's getting to 4 rounds.
No.
and even if they do get to 4 rounds, yeah.
Fair enough, but
it's
still,
it's such a strange way to choose the 3rd place. It's hard to say after that, like whether they would have had a faster win or Karen Tiger would have had a faster
look,
win.
regardless of that stage, it's just bragging rights because the prize money is the same, $12,000.
And it makes literally no difference.
Yeah.
Like, neither of those teams are going to go through to the final regarding 3rd, 4th place anyway.
Yep, fair enough here. So, again, it's just for bragging rights at the end of the day. Prize money the same, so they can use some of that or in advance to go out and have a good time and just watch the rest of the game stress-free, because remember, tomorrow we're going to be seeing who goes up against Team Efficiency in the finals here. And if Horsemen unfortunately fall to EL Gaming, which is looking likely, they'll just be able to sit back, relax.
I was almost
with
thinking you were going to say, oh, we're going to see EL Gaming go up against Team Efficiency tomorrow.
No.
Because that's where I'm thinking it.
I'm not calling it just yet. We still have a little bit of time, Jordan. Maybe when you're hosting, you can be that brutal.
Maybe.
But look, if it goes that way, Team Horsemen, they can just sit back with their home crowd, with their fans, relax and watch some great World of Tanks should it go that way. But they still have an opportunity to at least get a few more rounds on the board here, Alex.
Yeah, they do. And look, I mean, I suppose while we're in a little bit of a break now, it's a good time to mention, well, all of our viewers out there that might be watching at home, make sure that you're watching from WGL.gg/watch, because, of course, on our WG League website, we are running some quests throughout the weekend where you can win all manner of fantastic things like an AMX 1357 GF. You can win 300 gold, garage spot, all of that fun stuff. So definitely make sure you're on there watching live. I know that we do stream to a wide number of streaming platforms today. You know, Facebook. Shout out to everyone watching on Facebook as well. But yeah, it's been good. I've been kind of reading the Twitch chat in between little breaks here, and it's been great to see all of the familiar faces in there as well, joining us for the finals. So
definitely a new age of media, and it's a real pleasure to bring it this great game to as many people as we possibly can. So of course, shout out to you guys, and whatever medium you are watching out. Especially the Twitch chat. Love the Twitch chat.
I love the Twitch chat. I'm a big fan of it as well.
You've always got it like sneakily.
Oh, sneaky. I like to see what people are saying.
He'll be casting. He'll be looking here. The camera goes off. He's down there looking at his phone, looking what's going on.
I'm just seeing how many people are bantering Alex.
What? Bantering Alex? Surely not.
People love me.
Not at all.
People love me. You guys are in Twitch chat sometimes, are you?
Yeah.
I think they're the worst offenders.
Maybe Madhouse.
Madhouse.
Yeah. You know what? Sometimes I'm tempted to ban that kid.
just do it.
Just do it.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
If you're watching Madhouse, you're on thin ice.
Gotta be careful, mate. I think it's the curly hair and the red curly hair that kind of does it for me.
Ginge.
Well, look, we're getting a little bit, as Jordan would say, off the topic.
Nah, we're
Are we right the right amount off tracks here?
Yeah, just a little bit, but we have to get back on topic very quickly. I'm always the one that brings it back. We're digressing a lot.
That's it.
We're digressing.
Yeah,
always digressing. We could digress more and talk about the Korean barbecue that we had last night.
We devoured
with
that.
all the crew. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it was
pretty
good.
It's becoming a little bit of a tradition here.
Yeah.
It's like the
APAC team.
Wargaming team in Asia Pacific for us. We always go and have Korean barbecue. It's good.
Yeah, it's good fun. We have quite a big crew considering as well, so it's always difficult to find a table for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, that's the dream, right? It's like we could probably make a World of Tanks team, actually.
Yeah, I think we have more crew than a team, right?
We could be Team Elfish Guy.
No.
No?
No.
What would you want to be called?
It'd be
Team KBBQ?
Well, we're the ESL officers, so Team ESL.
Yeah, maybe.
Team Blue Shirt Guy.
Team Blue Shirt
Guy. There you go.
Why not Team White Shirt Guy?
That's boring.
That's not boring.
Who would want to be in a team called Team White Shirt Guy?
You're wearing a white shirt right now, Alex.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I want to be in a team called Team White Shirt Guy.
Well, you can leave. You're off the team.
Okay, I'm gone.
I don't even want you on my team. I'll be the team carry. I'll be the 50B player, even though I don't have 50B.
You don't play 50Bs.
I'll play the
You've
bat
been
chat.
called out.
I'll play the bat chat then.
Oh.
Much of a muchness.
You'll play what we tell you to play, Jordan.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Says you, mate.
Well, if
I'm the boss.
If you invited me to play the other night, then we wouldn't have an issue with it. No, we're getting personal here, but look,
mad.
back on topic here. Ghost Town, it's not looking good for Horsemen. They're really struggling to find any inspiration in these games. EL, they've looked, once again, cool, calm, collected, a methodical squad just coming in to dissect you, remove your tanks one by one without ever putting themselves in harm's way. And that's something that I really admire about this EL roster. They seem to do so much with so little. They're never overextending or setting a tank off on a suicide run. They're using all their resources correctly without ever just throwing something away for the sake of it.
You can definitely see with EL Gaming, they are one of the teams that can come back from a deficit where you'd think no one else would be able to come back from it. You'd think, okay, well, EL Gaming's in the bin this round, they're done. But then all of a sudden, it's like bam, 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 and we see 3 kills go the way of EL Gaming. It's like, what?
It doesn't matter if their tanks are on full health or on 1 health. They do the same amount of damage, and that's just how EL play the game. I've never seen a team that can time reloads as well as they do. They're constantly utilizing their opponent's windows that they can get in, do the damage, get out, duck behind the cover. And like we saw when, can't remember who it was, but on Mines are getting chased around by the artillery, he knows exactly where to go to stay out of harm's way.
Yeah, I mean, they are just the best team in pretty much every facet of the game.
It'll be interesting to see how they do in the grand finals this time around. Thoughts on how potentially they could go, as we do know they are locked in?
I think they could do, you know, relatively well, but given that they're coming up against the likes of, you know, some of the EU teams, you know, the NA teams, who have obviously, some of them can seem like they're in their own league of their own.
I think I don't really realistically see them taking Kazna or Ding. I think it's Kazna and Ding from EU that are going to the finals. Plus maybe one more. Maybe Gohard. I'm not sure. But I don't think EL beats any of those EU teams. They may be able to challenge the NA teams, but what we saw from them at Challengers Rumble, it was not confident at all from them. They went out like 5-1 and 5-2.
It is so interesting to see the skill differential. We see EL and they come into our region and just proceed to crush everyone in their wake, leaving just littered bodies of tanks, and then they go up against the European, the NA teams, and they proceeded to have what they did to so many done onto them. And that really throws into contrast just how good players at tanks can be. And what do you think is the main thing that separates? Because EL, they have all the resources to be a top team. They have the gaming house, they have the sponsorship, Chippy. What do you think they're lacking to reach that next level?
I think they're getting closer comparatively to, obviously, I think the Challengers Rumble and the first season when they went overseas. They were a bit sort of caught off guard by the different strategies and different positionings that teams played overseas. And that sort of not being in that environment constantly is what probably the Elong's lacking. So if they could get over to the other servers and scrim against other teams in that kind of way and learn their different strategies and their different positionings, then it would give them a better opportunity overseas.
Well, hopefully one day in the near future, latency is no longer a problem and we can scrim whoever we want, whenever we want.
I think that, again, another problem really for EL Gaming is that last season they were sort of in the process of changing up a lot of their strategies. Like, they were trying to slow things down. They weren't trying to go that full aggressive style. They've really been in a process of changing their mentality in the game to shift over to how the other regions are starting to play. So we do see that a little bit more from them nowadays. It's no longer just the rush in with bat chats and try and win the fight. They do play a lot slower and a lot more like the EU and NA teams. But we'll see how whether or not they will be able to continue that here against EL Gaming, or continue the job that they've been against Horsemen, sorry. Continue the job that they've started. I think they very much will.
Absolutely. So, right here, we are going to be seeing the Horsemen rolling out on towards the attacking half of Ghost Town with the T-57 heavy, only one bat chat, then 4 Mausers and an RU-251, which is a bit of an interesting lineup there. Pretty heavy, obviously. EL Gaming going to be going with a couple of 113s and 2 AMX-50Bs and 2 Mausers. And it's looking like the Horsemen wanting to push the point early with Gorilla and OBOV, and those Mausers moving up pretty far early on. You can see Sphinx actually maybe getting some eyes towards that one flag. Spencer TW here is just looking across the kind of southern area of the map, making sure that none of those EL Gaming, I don't know, maybe AMX-50Bs can get a flank on.
Maybe. I don't know, Horsemen, they've lost a lot. Like, they've not lost a lot of map control, but EL Gaming have got a very forward position right now, and they're really making life difficult for Horsemen trying to get into that 2 flag, or getting into what we would call maybe the Death Alley or even the 1 flag. Like, there's not that many options here for Horsemen that they can go to without exchanging fire with EL Gaming. In saying that, though, they've actually been able to trade quite well against EL Gaming. Hardliner's taken a couple of shots, Principal's taken 1, Black's taken 1 or 2 as well, so overall, Horsemen have not started off too badly here on Ghost Town, and maybe this is the weakness that EL Gaming does show on Ghost Town coming to the fore.
Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe it is indeed. So we can see here that Gorilla, that mouse is just hanging back a little bit. As 2 minutes tick by. Horsemen not really wanting to commit to any flag just yet. No real pressure exerted on towards EL at the moment. They are kind of regrouping back a little bit. Sphinx getting a bit of a scout happening as well in that bat chat. Be heading out towards the side, and that could actually be a good play there from the Horsemen. But as I say that, EL Gaming here, we've got these two AMX 50Bs and they are looking pretty raring to go. Gorilla could be in a very dangerous position.
This is a little dangerous for him, but depends whether or not EL Gaming is going to capitalize on it. And with the I guess with the tanks that EL Gaming has, they could. They have 113s, they have 50Bs, but they just don't know who's behind him, right? They don't know whether or not he's got backup at this point, so it could be a little dangerous for them if they do decide to go for it.
Well, there is actually going to be spotted out by Black, and Principal got spotted as well. We see Undesu there does get lit up by Nice, and we might be doing a bit of a kind of ring around as the Horsemen, they're rotating basically up towards the EL Gaming spawn. Now EL Gaming rotating back down towards where the Horsemen have spawned out, and now Gorilla suddenly is in a lot of trouble. There are no Horsemen around to help him out. He's just going to get torn to shreds in that mouse, and will be FoxTS finishing him off. So one early tier 10 kill to EL Gaming.
EL Gaming at the moment, they've got the player advantage. They've got relatively even HP. This should be a winnable round for them, but a couple of tanks on that cap for Horsemen right now. It's ticking down, but the reset shouldn't be particularly difficult here for EL Gaming. Though Sphinx has been able to take down Black. Not too big of a deal right now for EL Gaming. That's their tier 8. So overall, technically they've traded to tier 8 for a tier 10. And Principal's getting into a really nice position here. He's got the backs of some Mausers, some sides of the Mausers, and he can just play hull down right now with that nice turret of the 113. It's going to be really difficult here for Horsemen to deal with him.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can see his Principal, well, look at that, just playing perfectly in that 113 there, and, well, he does take a few shots worth of damage. Horsemen on the cap, just getting ripped to shreds there. They don't have any cover, and that's the issue with this sort of a 2-flag cap. Now that EL Gaming on these 2 points of entrance, I mean, look at that.
I want to see how EL Gaming's feeling about this one, because it does look like they're going to be able to win this map out, and that's going to put them on match point. So let's have a listen in with EL Gaming.
下给我打炮，不要动。好，好，好，没问题，我打。不要动就行了，不动就行了，不动就行了。把敌人没带。打手磕炮了，打手磕炮了。nice。呀，我带了灭火器。呀，漂亮。来来来，我双手都死了，我操！我双手太走了。转1号机转的果断，转的果断，哎，应该就是这样打的。 我这站啊，不是彩球，快点快点！哎，快点别，快死了！我死你妈妈逼！打他！把快点打死！都死！
Well, I think EL Gaming's having a good time.
EL Gaming having a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you be if you're up 6-1?
Yep. Absolutely. Well,
yeah.
There you go. So just like that, EL Gaming are 1 game away from heading to our grand final in the WGL APAC Season 2 finals.
And they definitely know it as well. You can feel the happiness coming out of them right now, the elation as well. But look, that's going to be pretty much lights out for Horsemen, who really gave them a fighting chance on Ghost Town, and that looked abysmal. I think they only lost 2 tanks on the side of EL's great play. I think sending, what, like 6 tanks to try and take out that, or to take out that mouse. Finding the early pick allowed them to pretty much take control of the map, utilize the alleyways well, and whatever buildings they needed for cover. Just looked very one-sided from start to finish out of EL Gaming.
Definitely. I mean, EL Gaming, like, you could have thought maybe after that little break, Horsemen could come in here, snag a couple of maps, but EL Gaming's just come out there and just sort of put them on the chopping block, and now they've raised the axe, essentially, and they're ready to swing it down on top of the neck of Horsemen.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they've already swung it a few times, and the neck's holding on by like a few tendons at the moment.
That's getting a little bit,
yeah, wow.
How you going?
Well, when you're down 6-1 after a few really solid performances out of EL, you'd be hard-pressed to find a way to a nicer analogy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Horsemen, they're definitely off to the chopping block now.
Off to the glue factory.
Oh.
Yeah, complaints from Peter.
Yeah. Wow.
Look, once again, EL just really showing why they're the most dominant force in our region. Showing up time and time again. Okay, they faltered one round. It looked like Horsemen showed signs of life. Wasn't meant to be. They're really just struggling.
It might not even be 7-2 anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think after that display on Ghost Town, and it was once again EL showing the initiative, Horsemen just kind of sitting back and thinking, oh well, guess we lost this one. They're really not making plays. They're just reacting to what EL are doing. And if you're letting the best team with the best strategies pretty much enact that without any sizable defense, they're just going to roll all over you.
I think they've just, you can see it really there where they were just failing to be proactive. They've just, I think they've just really lost any confidence that they had coming into this matchup against EL. Whatever sort of pep or hype they might have had coming in, I think that's all gone. That they've run dry. I think they know that they're pretty much just getting properly rinsed right now.
They're just grinding it out.
Properly rinsed. I think that sums this up pretty well. Look, it's been a great series for EL, of course, really showing domination in its finest. Of course, they've had some close games against Horsemen in the past, but this is not one of them. They've come out to the finals with one goal on their mind. They've already qualified for the grand finals here, but these guys are champions in their own right, and champions aren't happy with anything other than that W.
Yeah, it definitely would be a bit of a blight in EL Gaming's eyes if they were to go down here at the APAC finals. Even if they do still qualify for the grand finals, it is going to be just something that they're like, look, we don't want that to happen. We want to still be the best team in the region, undoubtedly. At the moment, I suppose there are still question marks over it. If Team Efficiency beats them in the final, you know, you can make the argument that Team Efficiency maybe are the best team in the region. But that's obviously something that we may be seeing coming out tomorrow. If they are able to do that, I'm not sure. I don't even know what I'd be predicting for that grand final tomorrow. But I definitely think that is the way that we're going right now. EL Gaming surely doesn't lose it from here. 6-1 up. I mean, there's nothing Horsemen can do to come back from this, particularly given the map pool that we've got coming out. There's just nothing working the way of Horsemen.
We've never seen a reverse sweep in APAC history, and I highly doubt we're going to see one with an even bigger margin to climb here. Down 6-1 at the moment.
They essentially have to 5-0 them and then win another one. Like, no one's ever 5-0'd EL Gaming.
That's not going to...
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, I don't think. And, I mean, looking at the post-battle stats there, you can see Rattlesnake, well, 4th position there for EL, so not right up the top.
He'll be up the top in terms of the post-match stats, though, for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. He's been playing impeccably all night long, and Rattlesnake really making a name for himself here on the APAC finals stage, and the rest of EL, sure, they're living up to their performance, and when you have the standards set so high, it's really hard for someone to come in and shine bright against so many godlike players, and so for Rattlesnake to do that, to impress us here, he's really made something special of himself, so looking forward to maybe seeing him in the next season.
And the grand finals.
That's a great point. Going up against the likes of Team Efficiency, they're a beast of a different color as well. Horsemen, while they have looked strong,
for sure.
EL, they've beat Team Efficiency. They've beaten EL twice now.
Yeah, and I think that Team Efficiency coming into this one, in terms of their mentality, like, it's such a big difference from last season when they were coming in to face EL in the semis, is that they sort of came into that one thinking, right, we're going to lose this one. But this time, I definitely think that EL Gaming, they might even be more confident, I think, against EL Gaming than they might have been against Karen Tiger, because they've beaten EL Gaming twice now. They know that they can do it. They have that self-belief, and they've now got all the weight of their shoulders off their shoulders in terms of the grand final qualification, that now they can really hone in on EL Gaming. And I'm 100% sure that they've been really looking into it and thinking, all right, we want to win this one. We can win this one. Let's do it.
Yeah, what's left to say about this series? It's going into potentially our final round here, Horsemen.
Oh, yeah. Well, there we go.
Wouldn't this be a fashion to end it?
That is 6 Mouses.
Yeah,
and
that's a bit I think that's an EL meme strat.
Yeah, a bit of an EL meme strat here. I was about to say, what a great way to end it, but it's 6 Mouses. So maybe it's, well, a heavy way to end it. We'll put it that way.
Okay, does Horsemen have the roster to go up against this?
Well, they've got 4 Mouses.
Yeah, and a T57 heavy. I don't mind.
Honestly, if I was the Horseman right here, I would be using the T57 along with the Bat Chat to try and flank. Because, like, it's a T57 heavy, so it's a heavy tank, right? But against Mouses, you know,
Speedy Gonzalez.
You're going to be able to, exactly, outrun him.
I would not want to be that Bat Chat. That is for sure. There's no way I'd want to be that Bat Chat, because there's not going to be a fun game for him. Yeah, he might get around the back, but like, you can't clip out a mouse. Have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So where's the merit? Is this obviously a troll strat
Yes.
coming out here of EL?
Yeah, pretty much. You're not like it's a viable strat, I
So
suppose.
Is it like it begins at a close? They start with the Udes on Himmels, and now they finish it off with the 6 mouse on Ghost Town.
Yeah, this is just really just cementing the BM here, I think. And
Just cemented in.
yeah, and look, I think for them, like, they could run the 6 mouse strat, and I think they'll still probably win.
You think
with
they're gonna
that.
win this?
I still think they'll probably win, but wouldn't that just be appropriate as just a real sort of cement this is the mouse meta now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This is what it is. Deal with it.
Yeah, that would be one way to go about it, but you got to feel for Horsemen if they do go down to this in front of their home crowd. A bit of a cheeky 6 mouse strategy after already losing to the Udes on Himmels. Emotions are going to be a bit torn here.
It's true, but hopefully they can use the Bat Chat and the T-57 to put in flanking fire, and I think that's probably the best chance Horsemen have. Otherwise, it's going to be a slow rolling wall of DPM rolling through Ghost Town, making Horsemen's a bit of a ghost.
Yeah, so maybe they just don't want to end it on Ghost Town. Maybe they want to play at least some Prokhorov, could get some practice in before their game tomorrow. So
Perhaps.
Trying to have at least some
No,
fun.
I'll tell you
while
what it
they're on
was.
stage if they
I just actually sent Fox TS a sneaky message, said, "Hey mate, can you actually throw this game so that I can get my prediction right?" So he's doing me a favor actually.
Oh, he's doing you a solid?
He's doing me a solid.
We'll see.
Yep. Nah.
We'll see how they go.
I would much rather no one get their prediction right than you get your prediction right.
You're
So,
such a salty boy.
yeah.
Well, we already got our predictions done today, Alex, so we're fine.
I'm not a salty boy, Jordan. I'm a well-seasoned boy.
Oh yeah, is that what you think?
He balances the pepper with the salt.
Exactly.
Oh well.
The spicy boy.
He's a spicy.
boy. Oh, yeah.
We saw that that little Twitch clip today, actually, of the Jordan Alex spicy boy. He's eating the Indian on air and just sweating. That's why our food picks have been much more sensible since then. The broadcast has gotten better as a whole, and so has our choice in dinners. No spicy Indian food for tonight, boys.
Yeah, that's the dream actually.
Yeah.
It's always tough. It's always tough.
I tell you what, I'll be interested to hear what the crew have been eating over in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Actually, I was.
I've been getting Snapchats every night of
yeah?
what some of the guys are eating, and it looks great. I
Yeah.
saw them like blow torching some like little meat cubes or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looked
And I was
a
like, I don't know.
barbecue
Yeah,
of
it
some
looked
sort,
like a.
but with a blowtorch. You know, as you do.
As you do.
Yeah. Nice.
When in
Well,
Rome.
Let me get my welding torch out.
So metal.
Well, that's how you
Yeah.
caramelize a.
creme brulee.
Yeah, that's it.
I was thinking like croque monsieur, but that's a.
That's a sandwich.
That's a sandwich. It's like a
bit off.
yeah.
Anyways,
No
enough
French.
about croque monsieurs. I think.
We got it's a foodie broadcast as well, Alex.
Yeah, of
You
course.
brought that to
Well,
the table.
I've inspired people in Twitch chat to make jacket
Yeah.
potatoes sometimes. So look, my life goal was completed when I heard that. So
I think that was in a
Alex.
Jordan. That was in one of your Jordan streams.
It was
wasn't
in one of my streams. Yeah, he was just talking about it. It was weird.
Funny
it
time.
wasn't weird. It was great. But anyways, look, I think the EL Gaming, they're going to be going out for a little celebratory deal
without a doubt.
after this one, or at least after tomorrow's games.
Maybe not after tomorrow's
Well,
game.
depending on how they
Depends.
go. Exactly.
Do you think,
depending
do you
on how
think
they
like
go.
yeah? I think a team like EL, they're not going to be satisfied with win over Horsemen. It's kind of expected to them. So a celebratory dinner, maybe once they've won the actual finals here, after tomorrow's games, if they do take.
Once they've won the finals.
If
they win the finals.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? Because like team efficiency, do I realistically see them beat EL in a best of 13? Do I feel team efficiency has a map pool as good as EL Gaming? Up in the air to me. I'm honestly not sure. Like I have to think about it overnight and do my prediction tomorrow. But I'm really sitting on the fence for this one.
It's going to be definitely an interesting game coming into tomorrow's.
It's the
match.
dream final as well.
It really is. Like you couldn't have asked for two better teams to go up against each other. The only team that realistically could take out EL in a final is Team Efficiency, and they're one round away from making it there.
Well, it's EL Gaming. They just need that one round. Here we go. We've got 6 mouse on the field for EL Gaming and an IU-251.
20,000 health.
I would have loved
as you
5
do.
mouse and a moist and a couple of moistkin.
Yeah.
Would have been good.
Can you say that moist skin again?
Moistkin?
You say that very well.
Are you jelly?
No, I'm not. I've got another word for it, but we won't say it in the broadcast. But EL Gaming right now, moving up on the attacking side of Ghost Town towards the bottom of the 2 flag. Hokiao.
Slowly, but surely.
Yeah, slightly bit surely, exactly. Hokiao's actually going to be spotted there in his T-57 Heavy. Sphinx is already flanking out fairly wide, but yeah, this is just a big rolling ball of steel.
Yeah, as you would expect. I wonder if they're just going to sort of like drive around the map together. Like, they're not even going to do anything. They're just going to drive around the map
They
together.
legit could.
That would be so funny.
I mean, the only issue is, of course, that
They're not going to catch anyone, really.
yeah, they're not really going to catch anyone, and the Horsemen do technically have 4 Mouses.
Yeah.
So they're still, you know, Horsemen aren't shy of hit points either.
OBOV takes 40 damage.
Yeah, just another 18,010 damage to go.
Yeah, but easy, mate.
What did Sphinx? Sphinx take some damage from Black.
He must have... Yeah, he must have.
250 or so. So, yeah. It's been a shot from Old Mate Black, but here we go. Hardliner and Combe moving up towards the bottom of the 2 flag. And look, they've looked a little bit shaky on Ghost Town before, but I'm not really seeing any holes in this strategy, just a lot of hit points.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see whether or not Horsemen can figure out any of these holes in EL Gaming strategy. Time to have a listen-in with the Horsemen.
往上面吃，赶快，车都开过来吃这里。
妈的，操！
我可以打到这一
只有
台。
慢点，只有慢点。
我已经很慢了。
这边吃不了，这边吃不了，这边吃不了。251还在外场。
武器退，武器退，武器退。武器，武器，武器。
下去了，老鼠已经过去了。
发起行退回去保血量，你跟肉包打交叉。自身想办法绕这两个老鼠的屁股，这2个老鼠血不多，想办法绕这2个人，快点。
我没弹了，我没弹了。好，251快点过来帮我，他251可能来找我了。
在这
，251来了。
他过去，你弹已经装好了，不急。
我还有20多秒。
红茶往这里打呀，你不要退了。哎呦，
我怕被打交叉。
我还有13秒。
我要死了，我打不住了。
我还有7秒。
我被交叉，我被交叉了。我可以去把火力烧掉。
Well, I gotta say, I don't think it's looking too much better for Horsemen than it has been throughout the rest of this series. They're at least still having a bit of a chat there, but honestly, I feel like they were a little bit deflated there.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
It sounded a little bit deflated, but realistically, EL Gaming was always going to win this matchup, and so they've just done that very, very easily.
Yeah, pretty simple simple stuff there from EL Gaming. They just rolled into the 2 flag with 6 Mousers and RU251 and left-clicked quite a bit. So they've done a pretty good job, and they're actually going to end up winning this with what looks to be 7,000 health remaining.
Pretty much.
Which is not bad when you think about it, considering that could almost be an entire team.
Well, not an entire team of Mousers, that's for sure. But EL Gaming, it's going to be a matter of time before they do catch Sphinx here, but maybe it is going to be a little bit. There we go. Quiet does take him down. So EL Gaming 7-1 through to the final against Team Efficiency, and that is really, I think, what we all wanted to see. We wanted to see Team Efficiency versus EL Gaming. We wanted to see that epic matchup coming out here in the final.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, look, did we really think that it would go too much differently?
No.
No.
Well, someone said 7-5 from memory. So maybe someone thought it might go.
Who would have said that?
Who would have said that?
I wonder.
A madman.
Chippy?
No, no.
No, see,
we all know it's you.
We all know it's you, Alex.
Can we get a screen for tomorrow, please?
Yeah, let's just put a box over Alex. It'll be in like an airtight
cone
container.
of shame.
Yeah.
But look, EL have just shown great tenacity, great skill, being able to take out Ghost Town with the 6 Mouse as well, really showing that Ghost Town definitely not one of their crutches anymore. They
Apparently not.
Quite good at it, being able to take it to Horsemen, a team that they have struggled with in Ghost Town historically here, and really very dominant victory to say the least. 7-1. I knew we were expecting an EL victory, but not to this fashion, Jordan. Even you lowballing them with the 7-2.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was a chance on a couple of those maps for Horsemen. I did expect them to show up a little bit more on Ghost Town, that's for sure, which they clearly did not do. But aside from that, I mean, that's a fairly expected result, really. I'm not hugely surprised to see that 7-1 coming out. Horsemen, they'll be disappointed with how that one turned out, but being realistic, like, they would have come into this one probably knowing that they were going to have a really tough time, knowing that they were probably going to lose that one. And so, you know, it's the expected result. They're just going to have a good time now tomorrow watching the games.
Oh, that's a great point, and what a series we have tomorrow. EL Gaming taking on Team Efficient. It's going to be an absolute doozy. I'm super excited to sink our teeth into that one, but again, great stuff out of Horsemen. Obviously, would have liked to have seen them play much more like they did on that one round on Muravenka, where they showed really positive signs that they could go toe-to-toe with EL, but the other 7 rounds were so one-sided that kind of makes me think it was a fluke.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a fluke, I don't think, but at the end of the day, the Horsemen, they came into this, and obviously, even though they said that they practiced every day, apart from 2 from the past, it felt like they were underprepared to me.
Well, you know, what's the old saying? You know, perfect practice or something like that. You know, practice makes perfect, but it's got to be perfect practice. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you're practicing, you know, every day except for 2 days, but you know you're not really achieving much, or you're not really, you know, making it meaningful.
Yeah.
Not a lot to be said there, I think.
Yeah, we've all been there playing competitive games, and you just get into practice ready to go and just play screw arounds for like 3 hours and get off for the night, and you're like, oh, well, I just wasted all my time, and who knows if that was the track that Horsemen found themselves walking down.
I think it's hard to go into EL Gaming and look prepared when EL Gaming is really coming into it in a situation like this. You know, like during the regular season, I guess EL Gaming is kind of like whatever if we lose a game.
Well, yeah,
it's not that big of a deal, but at the finals, it's time to really key in. It's time to knuckle down, and EL Gaming is not losing those games.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that statement. Coming into it, you saw their video, they said they weren't happy with how they went in the regular season. They didn't put in the effort, and the results reflected that.
Yep.
Never losing in season last season, never then dropping, what, two games?
Two.
In season 2,
yeah,
and making a few tiebreakers as well. Not something we're used to seeing out of EL. They were the 5-0 gods, and now Team Efficiency seem to have their number. But once again, top of the charts, Fox TS this time of the mouse.
Well, he hasn't actually been up there very much tonight. Generally speaking, he is up towards the top a lot of the time for EL Gaming, but tonight he's really been eclipsed, I think, by Rattlesnake, even Hardliner to an extent, who has been the top damage dealer actually for the region. Hasn't been towards the top for EL Gaming. So I think it's been Rattlesnake's night. He's had a really good one. He's my MVP for that for EL Gaming.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But is he going to be able to back that up tomorrow? How's he going to go against Team Efficiency, who are a completely different beast?
Black was able to output.
U251 does a lot of damage.
Yeah, outdamaging one of the Mousers.
Comparatively for a tier 8.
Yeah. But look, great stuff here from EL Gaming. They definitely look on fire. And how do you think Team Efficiency, like you guys know them quite well, they just watched this game, they just watched Horsemen get absolutely dismantled by EL Gaming. How do you think Team Efficiency are feeling right now, Nomad?
I think they're going to be... I don't know how insightful such a stomp's going to be for Team Efficiency. I mean, because I think it's actually more insightful for a team like Elong going into tomorrow's game, because they saw a lot more close games between Team Efficiency and Karen Tiger. So they're going to see a lot more of the subtleties and the more nuances coming into that game. Whereas I'm not sure how much Team Efficiency can get away from seeing a 6 Mouse pain train.
Yeah.
Look, that's a great point. Yeah, EL, they really did a number on that last half of Ghost Town, and you got to wonder, are EL cut out for this? Rather, Team Efficiency, are they cut out for this? EL, they just look super strong. They've dismantled teams in the past, but this was one of the most one-sided games we've seen out of them. And holy
3k average damage from Rattlesnake.
Okay.
It's actually amazing.
He's a very good player, Jordan.
Apparently, he's a very good player.
Wow.
Can't fault him for that.
Is he the very best player, though, apparently?
Well, look, I mean, that's one series.
In this series, he was.
In this series, yes. I've got to give him credit for that, but I need to see more from him before I'm going to put him up with the likes of Fox TS and Hardliner.
True.
I think he's the new star player for them, personally. But then again, he did only play the Mouse tonight, so...
That's true. And he was up against Horsemen, who didn't look too crash hot. He's really got...
See how he goes against TE.
Yeah, TE looking good. They went against Karen Tiger. A lot of very convincing rounds, but a lot of close ones, like you mentioned. A lot of opportunities for EL to really look at how Team Efficiency play. Team Efficiency play when they're in these kind of precarious situations, can see their under pressure decision making, and that does tell a lot, especially a squad like EL who can seamlessly just dismantle even the most secure setups.
Well, with TE, hopefully they'll from Karen Tiger game learn from their mistakes, and then adjust that for when they verse EL. because if you give EL an inch, they'll take a mile.
Give them a finger, they'll take an arm.
Yeah, it's just the spectacular plays that EL have in this game. They're, as you say, their drill position and their positioning, and like they could be literally behind and then somehow magically get the difference to bring it back. And that's the weaknesses they'll exploit from TE in that perspective, and that's how they'll continue forward.
We'll have to see if TE are prepared for the juggernaut of EL. They've beaten them twice so far in the regular season, and they were very close games, and I think you kind of alluded to it, Jordan. Are there enough maps in the pool that Team Efficiency can win? We know they can win 5 maps against EL, but can they win 7?
Yeah,
rounds, sorry.
That's the real question, isn't it? I mean, it depends, I suppose, on how the map vetoes do come out here. Definitely expecting EL is going to veto away steps. It is the best map, one of the best maps for Team Efficiency. It's a map that they vetoed this entire season. So I think that's off the cards. I really am questioning what Team Efficiency is going to veto against EL, though, because there's a lot of options there. I mean, Runeberg probably forefront in my mind. They haven't beaten them on it this season. I think that would probably be my go-to veto if I was Team Efficiency.
Yeah.
Other options, maybe Muravanka is a map that EL's looked quite strong on, but then again, tonight they didn't look so good on it. So there's a lot of thinking to do here for Team Efficiency, and that's the question of do or can Team Efficiency beat EL Gaming? Yes, they can. Will they? Have to do some more thinking before I answer that.
Well, moving along, let's have a look at how this day panned out. We saw some great games for you guys. Of course, we started off the night with Team Efficiency taking on Karen Tiger. That one ended in a 7-4 victory, going over to Team Efficiency. But despite the round discrepancy, it could have been a lot closer. There were definitely rounds that Karen Tigers could have won. There were definitely rounds that Team Efficiency could have used to close it out even earlier than, of course, EL Gaming versus Horsemen. A very one-sided affair. 7-1 to EL Gaming. They were on fire, showing no signs of slowing down from the pretty much the go button right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Horsemen, they needed to come into it with some really different strategies, some really out there strategies, and they just didn't on just about any of their maps. So I think that's why we see that scoreboard there, 7-1. And, you know, I think they really did get tilted a little bit early on. You could see it, you could hear it in their comms. You know, there was some tilt going on. And it doesn't matter whether you expect to do it or not. When you're on that stage, as soon as you sit down, you know, after having practiced for 2 weeks, anything could be possible, you know?
Of course, we saw, once again, the scorelines allowing the teams to come up and verse each other in the finals. Team Efficiency, EL Gaming. We had a little bit of a chat just before about how we think this game will go down. The 2 best teams from our region, the finals that everyone wanted. Wouldn't have been fitting if Team Efficiency had just choked on the day and Karen Tiger came through and made it up there, but that was not meant to be. Team Efficiency, EL Gaming. Efficiency, they have the head-to-head, 2-1.
They do, but Karen Tiger had the head-to-head over Team Efficiency, so...
That's a great point. That's a great point, and pretty much we've had a great day of tanks. We had one very close series, 1 stomp. Nomad, give us your thoughts of the overall day.
Yeah, I think the Team Efficiency Karen Tiger games, those are really, really good to watch. So a lot of really interesting plays from Team Efficiency there. I think they're going to certainly have their work cut out for them tomorrow, but I think some really good signs moving forward. And obviously with EL vs Horsemen, not much to say there, I think.
Any final thoughts, Chippy?
No, it's made most of the points. Just looking forward to hopefully tomorrow having a really good match between TE and Elong. Obviously, behind the boys, TE for the win.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna wonder what the scorecard's gonna be at the end. That's gonna be an interesting thing.
Alrighty, guys, that is all we have time for today. So once again, congratulations to our winners, Team Efficiency and EL Game. We're seeing them in the finals. Watch tomorrow, 4 p.m. GMT +8, and of course, a big thank you from the casters, the analysts, myself, and the entire production crew. Thanks for watching and happy tanking.
One here that's looking particularly unhealthy, I guess, for Team Efficiency right now is Skell.
And this is good moves from Team Efficiency. Safi there, he was pushing up a little bit. He's recognized that he has got the health buffer.
Else here on Team Efficiency, but look at the deficit that they've already got. It's almost double the HP right now for Team Efficiency. In fact, it's over that right now. Akio V gets set on fire, and this is going to be so difficult. Oh, he should get this. It's all down to the RNG. He's got a shot, though. Is Skell going to let it loose? Polly, I don't.
Oh, yes!
It was a Mac Hood.
Oh no!
Safi spots him out as well, and
okay, that's huge.
That is,
but he's not bailing. What about Nadeko though? Oh, Cap! What's happening, Jordan?
The Deco, oh, that bounce!
Oh.
If he gets a shot in here, I think Karen Tiger might win.
15 seconds. 50, yeah.
They can't catch more damage. That's it. Karen Tiger's going to win.
Oh my.
The key target for him, the more damage he can get out onto these bat chats before he goes down, the better it is going to be for him. And at the moment, Karen Tiger are going to be sacrificing a lot of HP pushing down this 1-2 line. And it's now just down to Karen Tiger making sure that they can make this work. Looking for the first pick of the game here for EL Gaming. Fox TS, should have enough damage to deal with Sphinx. Only needs a couple more shots. And that was an amazing play from Fox TS.
Yeah, that was brilliant there from Fox TS. Finishes off with the ram.
Actually able to push onto one of these flags. Are they even going to rotate, or are they just going to keep trying to butt their heads against the wall?
Well, they're going to kill spam damage.
And they're in trouble now.
Yeah, in quite a bit of trouble. Gorilla and Sphinx coming around.
Principal needs to make some work happen here. Gorilla, make sure their trades are successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And, well, this is going to be a successful trade because OBOV's just been
What on earth is Horsemen doing? I don't know if they've got the time to work with here.
Yeah, and oh, that was a good shot.